what a Smackdown we have got. This is going to be a very, very interesting show. The reason why I say that is because, of course, we're very close to WrestleMania. We've got one more week to go. WrestleMania is not this weekend, it's the weekend after. It has been recorded. There's loads to talk about. I haven't actually got that many notes because there's so much to talk about. I think whatever you guys want to touch on, we'll touch on it. We'll talk about it. We'll go through it. I got to tell you, I'm feeling really good after not streaming yesterday. I'm in an R-in as to whether to stream or not. I could have found something, but I did some videos instead. I was working on some videos. Obviously, there was breaking news in regards to like Roman Reigns, and the fact that I just had that day to not stream and like talk for several hours and just rest my voice. It feels much, much better now. So yeah, I'm feeling in a decent place as we're building towards WrestleMania. I'm feeling really pumped as well. I'm feeling really good because I just watched the Insiders Wrestling podcast. That is our community podcast. It's the podcast that I keep talking to you guys about, saying you've got to get in touch. You've got to send your thoughts. They want to hear from you. Well, they've just done the podcast. Episode 3 is what we've just been enjoying, and I've got to say it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loads of your thoughts were in there. Lots of pictures of collections, predictions for WrestleMania, but as well as all of that, we had a very interesting conversation about the Matt Hardy segment from AEW. Some people loved it, some people not so much. It's really split opinion, and there was a good, respectful conversation on that. And then as well as that, there was a clip that absolutely terrified me. I'm not... Holly Dead, the wrestler that you might have seen in Twisted Sisters, the tag team with Thunder Rosa. Holly Dead has also been all over GTS Wrestling. There's videos of her with Doo-Hop and Grimm, and she's done a lot of independent wrestling as well. Well, they managed to get an interview with her, and honestly, it's basically swearing for 2 minutes constant with just the odd word kind of dropped in here and there. But other than that, it was very intense. There was a lot of swearing. The whole interview is going to be up after we finish this stream. So when SmackDown finishes, we'll go over to the Insiders. That Holly Dead, you're not going to want to miss that. And apparently she's got a message for me. I mean, what I heard, the 2 minutes I already heard was enough. The 2 minutes that I just heard, it has already made me cry and hyperventilate. So, yeah, you don't miss that. Don't miss that. And then Gary, of course, Gary Cassidy, who is a wrestling journalist, interviewed loads of wrestlers, done loads of articles and things. They got an interview with him. He was given proper in-depth inside information as to, right, if you want to be a journalist, this is what you need to do. It was amazing. You kind of go from hyperventilating with Holly Dead over to like taking notes with Gary, and then it's got all the opinion. I don't want to keep banging on about it, but it was so good. It was so good. I didn't want to leave. I had to just step away like 5 minutes before to set the stream up, but man, Insiders, you are smashing it. You are absolutely smashing it. If you've not heard it, check it out. Absolutely check it out. We're all stuck indoors at the moment, all stuck indoors, so if you get a chance, definitely check out the Insiders Wrestling podcast. They've done 3 episodes, and this recent one was by far my favourite episode they've done. I thought it was brilliant. Right, hello everyone. We are going to talk about what's going on in the world because there's plenty going on in the world. Eric Haberman, shout out to you, buddy. Daze, how are you? I made a video on Twitter. Okay, dude, tag it. You probably already have, but tag me in it. I got to tell you, I'm drowning in messages, which is a very nice place to be. To have so many people sending you stuff is a real... Honestly, I look at my notifications and it's like, man, It's incredible that so many people tag me in things. The only downside is it's harder for me to see everything now. I mean, literally, it would take me a long time to go through everything. Yeah, tag me in it. I'll try and go through as much as I can after SmackDown. Of course, I will be over on that Holidead interview. I'll be in the chat there. So, I mean, this is my life now. So, like, I've just been on the Insiders chat. Now I'm doing this stream. Then I'll be on the Holidead thing. Then I've got, like, a million notifications to go through. I'm going to need to upload my thoughts on tonight's Firefly Funhouse. We've got a brand new Firefly Funhouse, which I'm expecting to be a big set Funhouse. And the reason why I say that is because the line that they're using to promote this is Bray opens the door to the Funhouse. And I think the reason why they chose that line is because they want you to know this is the full set. They want you to know that the door is involved. And if the door's involved, then the window's involved, then the TV's involved, then the full set is involved. So I think it was just their subtle way of saying this is going to be a proper Funhouse. This is going to be like those original 8-9 episodes. Or at least that's what I'm reading into it. So, yeah, I need to kind of put my thoughts in on that as well. So, there's so much going on. And obviously, we still need to talk about what's happening in the world. Jason Peace. Shout out to you, buddy. Says, shout out, please, Days. Shout out to you, pal. Hope you are well. So, shout out to Jason. Jason, you need to check out the Insiders podcast. Did we find out who Lennox is? No, we did not. Just absolute, to the point where I'm wondering if Lennox existed at all. Just no one can track anything down. The only thing that we found was a similar name or the same name on Instagram of like a young kid. Looked to be about 7 or 8, but there was no clues. Couldn't tell if they were even into wrestling. I've got no idea. Don't know anything about them. I've got to tell you, I've not really looked into it because this might surprise you, but like investigating 7-8-year-olds on the internet, it's just not my bag. It's just not what I'm about. So as soon as I found out there was like an Instagram account of like, a kid, that was enough for me to go, cool. I mean, we've already got to where my line is. So, there we go. I didn't go any further with that investigation. Chalmers might have, though. So, we'll have to check in with Chalmers. We've got Cal in corner and check in with Chalmers. So, we'll have to check in with Chalmers, the official Wrestling Days detective, who I know was on the case. One thing I do know about Chalmers, he's pretty rubbish at being a detective, so I doubt that he's come up with any of the goods. Right, let's talk some wrestling, shall we? What kind of things do people want to talk about? Because, I mean, I've got a big one. How about Roman Reigns? How about the fact that Roman Reigns is out of WrestleMania? Eric says, I tag you where we are live. Yeah, just tag me in it, but when I do get to Twitter, I will have a look at that. Right, so Roman is out. Here's the story. I know many of you are going to know this, but appreciate there'll be some that don't. So the news is that Roman did travel to Orlando. Now, the original reports that I saw was that Roman didn't travel. He did travel. Apparently, he travelled. He was in the Performance Center or Full Sail, right? So he was in Orlando, one of those locations. And apparently, The Miz had flu-like symptoms, virus-like symptoms. Now, it's worth emphasizing they are not saying The Miz has coronavirus. Okay, I've not seen that. But he did have, like, flu-like symptoms. Apparently, the Usos freaked. The Usos in particular got very upset about this. Roman was seemingly there but not used. I don't know if he was exposed or got close to The Miz. So I don't know kind of, if they kept them apart or what actually happened. End result, Roman wasn't used, doesn't feature, isn't going to be on the WrestleMania card. Now, I do know who has replaced Roman. We did a video on it earlier, but I'm also very aware that this is a potential spoiler, and I have said I will not give spoilers. I can tell you that Roman's out because I'm expecting that to be announced. I don't think they're going to be promoting Roman knowing that Roman is not going to be on the show. So I'm expecting them to announce that Roman is out, which is why I feel comfortable telling you Roman is out. I don't know what they're going to do with the replacement. This could be a Goldberg Open Challenge, okay? So if I tell you who replaces Roman on this stream, I am then giving you a potential spoiler. So I'm not going to do it. I'm sure many of you already know. You can find out this information very easily if you wanted to. And in fact, I've done a video on it. So you only need to look onto the channel and you'll see who the Roman replacement is. But as I said, I'm very aware and I'm very committed to not giving out spoilers. And as I said, I don't feel that the Roman one is a spoiler because, I mean, it was trending. It was all over Twitter. I fully expect WWE to announce in advance of WrestleMania that he won't take part. They're surely not gonna advertise someone they know is not gonna be on the show. So I'm expecting them to announce that. I don't know what they do with the replacement. They could go with a Goldberg Open Challenge. So yeah, it looks like The Miz is potentially out. I don't know if he wrestled or if he did his match or not. So I can't say 100%. I don't know if he turned up and had the symptoms or if he wrestled and then the symptoms showed. So I think he's out, but I'm not 100% on that. Obviously, that would bring into doubt John Morrison because they're a tag team. John Morrison isn't going to be able to do a tag match without The Miz. Unless they bring in a special partner or... which I don't think they would do. I think they would just abandon the match, to be honest. So I'm not expecting that Miz match. There's rumours about Cesaro as well, showing flu-like symptoms. The problem is that all of this has got nothing to do with, or potentially nothing to do with coronavirus. There's that much flu that's going around. I mean, I've got a runny nose. I know for a fact I don't have coronavirus, right? I know that for a fact. And the reason why I know is because I've not interacted with anyone for, I don't know, a good 4 or 5 days now. People that have only been in this house, haven't left this house. We've been doing the self-isolating life. We've been living the self-isolating life. Plus also, apparently, if you do have coronavirus, there's a couple of symptoms. There's a dry cough, a constant dry cough. Don't have that. And also a fever that you would know about, you would know if you've got this fever. Clearly don't have that. But I do have a bit of a runny nose at the moment because it's going around, isn't it? It's the flu. It's flu season. Everyone's got the sniffles. Everyone's got a slight sore throat or, do you know what I mean? A little bit of a headache or... you just get that at this time of year. So I feel like that's exactly what's happening with a lot of these wrestlers. I think they've got similar things, but it doesn't mean that they've got coronavirus, So, but you've got to be safe. I mean, Roman has got obviously had issues with leukemia and things along those lines. His immune system now is not what it should be. He is not going to be as protected as what we would, or a lot of us would. So he's got to be careful. I don't know. The whole thing is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I hope Gangrel is the replacement for Roman Reigns, says Eli Gaming Station. Yeah. There's news, as we said, about Miz, news about Cesaro, news about John Morrison, news about Asuka, apparently, potentially out. I've not seen that confirmed, but I've certainly heard word about Asuka and Andrade. But in all fairness, if Miz and Morrison are out, then Andrade's out anyway. So yeah, it's if we're gonna get WrestleMania, which I'm 99.999% we are, right? I don't think they will have just gone, we can't do it, too many people are sick. I think they will have cobbled together a show, okay? So we will get it, but Man, it's not going to look anything like they planned. It might explain why we're getting Elias and Corbin. Like, now we might know why that match is happening, because they're having to make any match they can at the moment. That's WrestleMania. WrestleMania is a dumpster fire. It's literally a dumpster fire. And I just hope that everyone still comes out of it okay. Memnums Lewis says, is Brock and Drew still on? Yes. I've not heard anything about that being cancelled. Viral colds are bad. Days, do you see them putting the title on Braun Strowman? I can't comment, but there's many potential replacements for Roman. As I've just said, I'm not going to go into it here as to who I think the replacement's going to be, because I don't know how they're going to present that, so let's leave it there. Jody says, Days Funhouse tonight is going to be epic. I'm very, very excited for it, and I agree. I think that this is going to be something that they need content, yeah? They know they can't keep showing old matches. They can see what's happening to the ratings, so they know that they can't do that. So they need content, and they need content they know people will enjoy, and everyone enjoyed the original Funhouse episode. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it. This is going to be a big challenge for Bray, because I think they will have turned around to Bray and said, look, we need a new Funhouse. What have you got? And he's going to have to think of something on his feet. He can do it. Of course he can do it, but I don't think they were going to originally give us this Funhouse, to be honest. I think they were still going to use the backstage set. If they give him the full set, yeah, and say, right, give us a big proper Funhouse, I don't know how much of that is going to have been planned. So it's going to be a very interesting episode tonight. And I think it's going to be great, yeah. I think Bray is someone that thrives on being leaned on, you know. He is the kind of person that wants that responsibility. He has always wanted to show what he can do. Always felt underutilized. So now they're giving him the ball. He'll run with it. He will run. Eric Haberman says, I really wish Roman the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do as well, my friend. I do as well. There's one thing that I do really want to touch on, and that is WrestleMania being postponed. The reason why I want to talk about this is because I'm seeing a lot of people talk about this, and not just like fans, but like Twitter accounts like WrestleVotes, for example, saying that WrestleMania should have been postponed. I've got a real feeling on this that is different to everyone else, I think. And it's hard to kind of express that in Twitter form. So I did just want to take a moment just to kind of talk about it here. I don't think it's as simple as what everyone is making out. Everyone's saying, look, all the wrestlers, they're dropping like flies. Roman with his health issues. Health comes first. I totally get all of that. Like, no one is saying that that is not true. That is absolutely the first priority. But I don't think cancelling WrestleMania is as simple as what people think, or postponing WrestleMania is as simple as what people think, because WrestleMania was meant to take place in Tampa, and obviously it hasn't. Vince, I think, was waiting for Tampa to say, okay, you've got to call this off. And I think he was waiting because of the insurance. So that was a big story that was doing the rounds. If you think about how much money it costs to put WrestleMania on, right? It's a lot of money. So I really think that what they were doing is they were waiting for Tampa to say, right, you can't hold WrestleMania. Then I think what happened is the insurance company said, okay, well, you can't do it in Tampa, but how about you do it somewhere else? So Vince then moved it to Orlando. I honestly think he wanted to postpone it. There was a lot of talk about Madison Square Garden. So I think Vince wanted to postpone it, but he had to get the insurance to pay. So it was going to take place in Tampa. Didn't happen, okay? The insurance said, try and move it. So he moved it. He moved it to Orlando. And I think he was hoping that Orlando were going to say, no, we're going into lockdown. That's only happened this week. That's only happened this week. So he has, unfortunately, had a window where he could record WrestleMania. So what's he meant to do? If he cancels, he's got to foot the bill. The insurance won't pay. I honestly think he moved it hoping that Orlando would say, no, you can't do WrestleMania. You can't do it. We're going into lockdown. And sadly, they've gone into lockdown quite late. Like, I think today or yesterday, Orlando went into lockdown. So I think he's kind of been put into a corner. If he postpones, he pays for WrestleMania, not Tampa, not Orlando, not the insurance. It comes off WWE's bottom line. So he's got to pay for the WrestleMania that didn't happen, but he's got to pay for the WrestleMania that's going to happen as well, because he's still going to have to do one in, say, Madison Square Garden in June. Well, he's going to have to pay for the one that didn't happen, the one that did happen. Do you know how much WWE made in profit in 2018? They made $114 million. Okay, $114 million. How much do you think it costs to put a WrestleMania on in Tampa, right? It's millions, millions and millions, tens of millions. I don't even know. It could even be more. Like, for hotels and accommodation and staging and just the whole renting the hall for access and the arena rental, the stadium rental, the epic entrances, the talent, the planning. I don't even know how much a WrestleMania costs, but it's easily in the tens of millions. So, you know, the bottom line is this: if Vince has to pay for the Tampa WrestleMania, has to pay for the replacement WrestleMania, and WWE made 114 million, okay? You can 50, 60, 70 million of that goes, okay? All of a sudden, WWE's share price collapses, okay? We're honestly potentially talking about WWE getting into serious financial difficulties over this. We're potentially talking about downsizing. We would be talking about people losing their jobs, right? So I think what Vince has had to do is he's looked at it and gone, let's just try and put on the show we can. Let's just try and put on a WrestleMania. Let's just try and get it recorded, and let's just try and do what we can. Now, you can say that that's still the wrong decision. You can say that he wasn't prioritizing health, but was he prioritizing jobs? Like, what was the alternative? It's not as simple as Twitter makes it look. Twitter makes it look like Vince doesn't care about people's health, and he's just going to, whatever, I'm just going to put this WrestleMania on. No one's going to tell me what to do. I don't believe it's as simple as that. I really, really don't believe it's as simple as that. It's not in WWE's benefit to do a WrestleMania without a crowd. Like, they lose ticket sales. They lose merch sales. I think he wanted it postponed, but I think he couldn't do it unless the insurance paid. I could be wrong on it all, but that's just my gut feeling. And, yeah, there's not a way of really putting all of that into a tweet. So that's my thoughts on WrestleMania. I do think they could have done a better job. I think straight away they should have gone, right, we're not using Roman. I think anyone with pre-existing conditions or a history with health straight away written off the show. Completely agree with that. So I'm not saying they're perfect. That's not the conversation. But I do think that they're getting treated a little bit unfairly on this, because financially I think the repercussions would have been much, much bigger than people think. So just my thoughts on it. But I appreciate people will have different thoughts on it. And I suppose now all we can do is just focus on what we're getting and making sure that everyone is healthy. And yeah, it's certainly going to be one of the most interesting WrestleManias we ever see. I saw there were some super chats I need to go back to, so let me go back to those. Moda! Shout out to Moda. Days, hope you and everyone in the chat are doing well and staying safe. I'd like to see The Fiend and Cena match be a #1 contenders match. Have The Fiend win to face Goldberg, then The Fiend gets the title back and 2 WrestleMania moments. Moda, thank you so much for the support. Really, really appreciate that, buddy. You know that I do, and I'll make sure to put your name down on the scroll at the bottom. Daniel says, if they'd postponed it till July, we still could be in this situation, so they would still be stuck. I mean, that's a very good point. We could still be in this situation. I believe that they would have took that chance, though. As I just said, I'm not saying they're perfect, and I don't want that message to come across wrong. This isn't meant as a defense of Vince McMahon, if you will. I'm not. My heart doesn't bleed for Vince McMahon because he's drowning in money. He's made many mistakes, and I'm not standing up for him. I'm standing up more for the decision that was made, because you look at Twitter and there's people laying into the fact that it wasn't postponed, but as I've just said, I really feel it's more complicated than that. So, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I suppose I'm very fortunate that I just wanted to share one that I'm not seeing getting spoken about a lot. Not seeing the whole insurance and the financial repercussions and the potential job losses that could lead to. People actually losing their jobs over this, which, that would be a whole different tragedy as well. So, yeah, difficult. Very, very difficult. Jody says, Abby is missing from the logo for tonight. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Perhaps she's self-isolating. Vegan says, Vince prioritizes himself, and WWE has proved that year on year. Irrespective of the points made, his priority is not the wrestlers. Never have been, never will. There were enough viable alternatives. What were those viable alternatives? Let me know. Because, as I just said, Vegan, I agree. This is not like a defense of Vince McMahon. More, I can understand what I believe after reading all the rumors on this and watching it play out. I believe that what I just said is what he tried to do. It went in Tampa. Couldn't happen in Tampa, but the reason it wasn't cancelled is if he cancels it, he pays, okay? And the way that the ratings have gone, and the way that the stock had gone, and the way that just everything for WWE has gone, it's been on a decline for a while now. And as I said, they made $114 million in profit. You could halve that. If he's got to pay for 2 WrestleManias with no insurance cover, you could probably halve that for 2020. And then, of course, you've got the added problem with we don't know how long this is going to last, and and also, I mean, it's not even just the cost of all of that. It's like, what do you do with BT Sport that are expecting a show? BT Sport need to sell a pay-per-view. What are you going to do with network subscriptions? What are you going to give to those people? All of a sudden, the network gets smaller. There's so many things that's connected to it. Let me know. Let me know what the viable alternatives are, because I'm I'm not sure. Anna Dawes, shout out to you. Abby is missing. Red vegan. The ratio between wrestlers' well-being is not that set prematurely. Oh, that's set prematurely. Okay, no worries. Now, look, this is a really interesting conversation. It's a really interesting, and it's one that I'm happy to have, because, as I said, it's a lot of people saying the same thing. A lot of people, like, if I was to put a poll up on Twitter now saying, should WrestleMania have been postponed, it's going to be 95% yes, 5% no. Okay, so the vast majority, pretty much everyone is saying that it should have been postponed. And I agree, it should have. In an ideal world, it absolutely should have. But I think I can see why it wasn't. Days correction. Do you see them putting the title on Roman's replacement? Got your job. Yes, I think they will put the title on Roman's replacement. I don't think the plan was for Goldberg to stick around. Now, I said that after Super Showdown, and I was wrong, so I could be wrong again. But the whole reason why Fiend lost the title, I've said this before, we've constantly tried to look for theories and things like this as to why the Fiend lost the title. I'm a big believer that there was no theory. I'm a big believer that Vince just changed his mind hours before the match as to who was going to win. I think that the Fiend originally was facing Roman and was going to win that match. So the Fiend was winning, but it was changed last minute, and I believe it's because Vince didn't want Roman being booed. If it's Fiend versus Roman, the crowd are with the Fiend. If it's Goldberg versus Roman, crowd might be with Roman. So it's certainly got a much better chance of being cheered. So that's my thoughts on why the Fiend lost the title. And I really believe that Roman now not being involved, his replacement will come in and will still be victorious. So yeah, I think whoever replaces Goldberg has a brilliant opportunity. CJ says, Days, hear me out. We need the anonymous Raw general manager back, and then it's going to be revealed as Linda. Perfect. Is Undertaker still fighting AJ? Yes. And we found out what a boneyard match is. So a boneyard match. Is a buried alive match. There's a grave involved. This is quite morbid thinking about it, you know. I mean, like, I'm not sure this is the right move. I'm excited for it because I think that it's going to be something great, but I think everything that's going on in the world right now, having a cemetery and a grave and someone being put into it, and fast forward another week. You know, if you think about where the US has got more cases now than anyone else in the world. Our Prime Minister here in the UK has now got coronavirus. So it's growing. It's not dying down. It's the situation is worsening. I don't know where we are in a week when WrestleMania finally gets shown. I don't know how many cases and how many, passing aways there are, deaths. I don't know what the optics. They say they call it the optics, don't they? I don't know what that match looks like in that time, in that world. I don't know if it was the right thing to have done now. But all of that to one side, I think the match itself, if you can separate it from what's going on in the world, I think the match itself is going to be very good. I think AJ Styles can bring out a great match in The Undertaker. It's not going to be a technical masterpiece if they're wrestling in a cemetery. Unless they're going to put a ring. I mean, like, he says it's not what we're expecting. So does that mean they're going to put a ring in a cemetery? Because I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting them to brawl in a cemetery, but they might put a ring in a cemetery and then have, like, a grave at ringside. I mean, that'll be incredible. That would be incredible. So I'm excited for it. I'm also a little concerned. Vape Ross Vape says, Days, chat, much love, stay strong. We will be okay. Yes, buddy. Well said. I love you, Days, but is it true CM Punk is going to return at some point at WrestleMania? There's no word on that. I've seen images, but they're fake. The images that I've seen are fake. There's so many. You've got to bear this in mind. There's so many fake images out there. I've been sent, I would say, an easy 10 images of various different spoilers, yeah, that have either been proven already to be fake or look fake. And you kind of take a look at them and go, that's not real. So I'm listening to what people like Dave Meltzer are saying, who have got actual contacts on the inside, and I can tell you there is no talk about CM Punk. So, shout out to Iris. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Again, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm not saying that he's not going to be there. He might be there, But I'm just saying that the information that's come out so far, I haven't heard about it. Anthony says, Days, if WWE decide to bring back the commissioner position for SmackDown and the GM position for Raw, as a fan, who would you want in those positions? Difficult, because straight away I go William Regal. I love the way that Regal carries himself. I think he was built for that position. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just looks perfect in a suit. He as a GM, he's just perfect. And I think he's done a great job with NXT. But the thing is, he's got health issues. He's not there all the time. He doesn't have to travel around. They only ever record at Full Sail. It works for him. So it needs to be someone like that I think, you know, would look great in a suit. I think it needs to be a legend. I thought Baron Corbin worked okay as a GM, but I feel like Paige. Do you know what I mean? Paige is someone that's still got so much to give, and I thought when she was GM, people loved her as GM. So I feel like Paige should come back straight away. And then I don't know who. I mean, like Kane, I think works really well. Obviously, he's a mayor, so I think he works. Mark Henry, I think, is someone that's going to work really well. I'm just kind of thinking of people that have now retired, you know, that have been in ring but, you know, aren't doing it anymore. Jason Jordan, if his career is over, if his in-ring career is done, then why don't we use him as like someone in front of the camera, use him as like a manager. So I think there's a few names. I wouldn't be using active current superstars. I would be using legends and people that have moved on. Silverberg versus the replacement. Oh, Silverberg is the replacement. Got you. How do you think WrestleMania will be now that it's not live? I'm a little bit worried about it. I'm a little bit worried about the Fiend match, to be honest, because, as we said, the Matt Hardy segment on AEW split people like I've not seen for a long, long time. It was incredible. If you went on to like the AEW kind of sites, and even a lot of the wrestling journalists, got to admit, a lot of the wrestling journalists saying that it was brilliant, it was fun, you know, it was just what we needed at this time, you know, it was escapism and all this kind of stuff. It was theatre, watching the two of them, and it was clearly not scripted. And watching the two of them, it felt like theatre between Matt Hardy and Jericho, you know. Jericho cutting a promo on a drone. It's so out there, so extreme. It's so, I mean, look, it's so extreme and weird. It's perfect for 2020. That's what 2020 is. Extreme and weird. So, a lot of praise for that segment. Equally, a lot of people go in, this is too far. This is just way too far. And I got to admit, I'm in that camp. I personally struggle with the teleportation thing. I think that to show someone that's got that ability in 2020 in wrestling is, for me, we've all got where our line is. And for me, that was too far. I like the dialogue. I thought that the back and forth between Jericho and Matt was good. But it was the teleportation that for me just was like too far. And my concern is they're going to go too far with the Fiend. And I'll be the first to tell you, if they start messing around with the Fiend and having the Fiend jumping all over the screen, I'll be exactly the same. I said this on Wednesday. I'll be saying the exact same thing. So I think that doing it live limits that kind of thing. But yeah, they could go full on hokey. It could be proper hokiness with the Fiend match. So we're going to have to wait and see. Apparently it's going to have a big Hollywood feel. It's going to be in a warehouse. I expect the Fiend to win. I don't know who wins. I actually don't know any results, so I can't spoil anything. Genuinely, none of the results have come out. But I'm excited for it. I'm optimistic, but I'm concerned as well. Do you know what? That sums up WrestleMania. Not even just the Fiend match, the whole of WrestleMania. I'm optimistic, but I'm also concerned. So, yeah, we're not going to see a show like this. Or I can't say we're not going to see another show like this because who knows how long this is going to be around for. And obviously we know that the next Raws and Smackdowns are going to be like this. Maybe even, the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania, May's pay-per-view might be like this. But we won't have seen anything like this before. This is uncharted territory for all of us. So, right, CJ says, this is huge. If they give full control to Bray and Cena, Bray is a creative genius and Cena is a very good actor. This could be incredible. Yep, I agree with that. I've always liked the Fiend character, though. I've always been a fan of the Fiend character being Bray's madness. You might remember that we've spoken a lot in previous videos about the fact that Funhouse was a mental asylum. Those deleted tweets from Bray really shaping that theory. Talking about the patient, talking about the patient is showing signs of, mental deterioration. This was, for those of you that don't know, where I think it was like, around about this time last year, Bray was sending out tweets on his Twitter. This was before the first episode of the Funhouse. And he was sending tweets out all about how a patient was descending into madness. Like, day 312, the patient is speaking foreign languages. We believe this to be as a result of blah, 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 blah. Okay? So I've always liked the idea that the Fiend is Bray's madness and it's his darkness, and he created the Funhouse to try and control that. And there's a lot in puppet therapy, and there's a lot that we explored in those early theory videos. So I just want them to stick with that dialogue. I want them to stick with the fact that this is him having lost his mind, basically. So I think there's a great story to be told there, and certainly with Cena as the opponent. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what they come up with. I can't wait to see where it's filmed. I don't know where it's going to be, what the background's going to be. It could be in a funhouse. Apparently it's in some kind of a warehouse, but I don't know if it's a warehouse that's going to be the actual setting, or if there was a green screen in that warehouse, or... That's what I'm saying, I don't know. But I'm very, very excited, and I completely agree. CJ, Bray is a creative genius. Cena, a very good actor, could be something very special. Vegan says, the wrestler's well-being tops any Mania financial loss. They will always be his greatest assets. Agreed. He could have postponed, saved on WrestleMania associated costs and salaries, especially without 20 million ticket sales. The thing is, though, that yes, wrestlers' well-being tops any financial loss, but that financial loss could be so significant that people lose their jobs, and how does that stack up? The well-being of wrestlers. I mean, look, if wrestlers are in their homes, a lot live in Florida, okay? And they get in a car, they take themselves to the performance center, they then don't interact with anyone, they compete, they do their match, they get back in their car and they go, which is what I'm under the impression they've been doing. Like, the reason that we've been getting a lot of repeats is because they've not been using that much talent. The reason WrestleMania is across 2 days is to limit the amount of people that are around at any one time. Like, the precautions that they've been putting in place are to try to minimize the amount of people that are around at any one time. If you've got any kind of flu-like symptoms, then you're not to go. Obviously, it looks like something's gone wrong with The Miz, but don't know enough about that yet. So, completely 100% agree that wrestlers' health comes first, but they are putting precautions in place to ensure that they can try and do both, basically. They can try and keep the wrestlers safe, and they can also still deliver on this WrestleMania, because I think the alternative is that you cancel that Tampa one. you take the financial loss. You then have to do another one in June, which, as we've said, you might have to then end up cancelling that as well. Like they could change it to June, but then we might get to June and June can't happen, and there's another one you got to pay for. And it's like, when does this? I don't know where you draw the line. I don't know where you put people's jobs in that pecking order as well. It's a really interesting conversation. It's a really, really interesting conversation, and one that I don't think is as easy as saying this was the right thing to do and that was the wrong thing to do. I can't go as far as to saying I agree with that. I don't think you can say that was the right thing and that was the wrong thing, because I think that there's people's jobs on the line, and dare I say, and I could be wrong on this, the company could be on the line, because, as I said, I don't know how much it costs to put on a WrestleMania, and if you were to not do a WrestleMania, then you're losing out on that. You then got to pay for the replacement. You then don't have anything for all of the pay-per-view carriers. You then are going to take a hit with the network, because you're not going to have a show for the network. So then people unsubscribe. I mean, people are subscribed for the shows. That's the main driver. The main reason why people get the network is for the free pay-per-views each month. If you're not going to give them that, they'll unsubscribe. Now, WWE's share price had been about $90. It went down to $40 when those two executives left earlier in the year. It dropped $50 a share overnight. Like, hundreds of millions wiped off WWE's value. They were not in a very strong position going into this coronavirus. Those two executives leaving had really hurt the share price. I expected it. I didn't think it was that big a deal at the time, because I just expected it to naturally rise again, not knowing that we had this on the horizon. So it hasn't had chance to rise again. The whole stock market has now crashed. I mean, like, the stock market's on its knees. So their share, I haven't even looked what their share price is now. If you're now gonna, on top of this, not do the pay-per-view and take the hit on those shows, I don't know at what point you say the company could be in trouble then. They know better than I know, but I really am struggling with the notion that they are doing this because they don't care about the wrestlers and all this kind of stuff. I genuinely think there's more to it than that, and I just think that it's worth someone putting that alternative point across, because don't see many people making that alternative point on Twitter, and I do think that it's one worthy of conversation. So I again emphasize and stress it's a conversation that I welcome. Vegan says, if one falls ill, they may all fall ill. Flu symptoms are undetected for a week. He may have no talent to work with. Viruses spread so easily and rapidly. Everyone was reportedly against it except for Vince. That is very true. That is very true. Vegan's correct. I have seen that. A lot of people, when they say everyone's against it, I think they mean the wrestlers, the talent was all against it. But my reading of that is, I don't know how much they know about the financial side of the business. And again, I don't want to be sitting here banging on about the financial side, because you are right that wrestlers' health comes first. Like, absolutely not disputing that. But the alternative that I'm saying, what the counterpoint to that is, they might be all unemployed. They might all lose their jobs. You're talking about thousands of people there, because I think they've got, 300-400 wrestlers on the books. Then you've got all of WWE headquarters, management, producers, road crew, people that set up the ring, blah, 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 blah. Like, that could... I genuinely don't know at what point all of that gets put into jeopardy. This is their biggest show. This is, like, the amount of money that they make from WrestleMania, the amount of eyes that are on the product for this. Huge. Absolutely huge. This is, it's WrestleMania. It's like, it's up there with the Super Bowl and the World Cup, when they talk about the biggest events in the world, WrestleMania is always in the top 10. It's like World Series, Super Bowl, FIFA World Cup, WrestleMania. They're always shouting about it. They're always proud about it. It's like you don't easily cancel the FIFA World Cup. Do you know what I mean? You don't easily cancel those kinds of things. And I don't know. I really, really feel like there's a lot more to it than what Joe Blogs down the street that's read one news article seems to be saying on Twitter, you know? What do you think the best match in history is? First thought is Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. I also love Undertaker Shawn from WrestleMania 25. I think there's quite a few great matches. Macho Man Steamboat as well. Always deserves a mention. Stone Cold Bret Hart. I think the Okada Omega matches were insane. Dusty Rhodes obviously gets mentioned as well. There's quite a few. I think all of those are going to be around. Lashley versus Black is off. They moved Euros and Olympics. They did, yeah. They have postponed it for a year, haven't they? I don't know what happens with that, to be honest, because I've heard with the Olympics, this is quite interesting. The Olympic Village is sold to people that are going to move into it and use the Olympic Village as housing. Like, the Olympic Village always gets turned into houses, and apparently people are due to move in next year into the Olympic Village. So now they've got this massive problem of what do we do? Because we've got people that are not going to have homes, but we need somewhere to put the athletes. So it might be that Japan has now got a fund building another Olympic athlete village, because the one they originally built is now going to be used for housing, which is what it was originally going to be. So it's a nightmare. It's the Olympics didn't want to postpone. How long did the Olympics hold off? They only did it the other day. There was actual countries that were withdrawing. Was it Canada that withdrew? And then there was like other countries saying that they were going to withdraw. There was qualifying events that were not happening. Obviously, people should be going through qualifying events right now for the Olympics, and those weren't happening. I think it got to the point where there was no alternative for them. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to have figured out who had qualified. There was actual countries that were going to be missing from the Olympic. It got to the point where we've got to do it. But the financial repercussions of that decision is going to be incredible. And actually, do you know what? The financial repercussions of everything that's going on is going to be incredible. They've said that we'll be paying for what's happening right now for the rest of our lives, you know? I mean, taxes and things like this, which, you know, again, lives come first. 100%. But, yeah, this is going to have a long-lasting effect on everyone. This is serious stuff. Like I need to tell you, as everyone knows. Is Euro 2020 cancelled? That's been postponed as well. Euro 2020 has been moved back to next year. I'm not sure. I don't know as to what the repercussions are of that, to be honest. Because obviously they don't have to build specific things for that. So I think that's slightly easier to move, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is the outcome? I don't know. Vegan says financial earnings are people's livelihood. I do totally get that. I just think there would be other ways they could have sidestepped this mania and for it to still be okay. I probably have a cynical view due to this being Vince. Look, this is, as I said, a really difficult, really difficult. I think I've got to give credit to this community because it's something that I really admire this community for, is the fact that we are able to have these kinds of conversations. And I think what's really nice is that I don't just say that and then we don't have the conversations. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, guys, we're so respectful of each other, but then we don't actually ever demonstrate it. I think the fact that we're able to have these conversations, put in these counterpoints, and what I really like about it is the fact that people watching like the stream have made up their own minds and are sitting there or in the chat right now putting across their thoughts, their opinions, saying how they are reading the situation. And I love that. I absolutely love that. That's exactly what this is meant to be. This is meant to be a forum for us to express our thoughts about wrestling and to enjoy it together. And there's no way that we all agree on what's happening. It'd be impossible. It'd be awful, actually. Could you imagine if we all just enjoyed everything, and everything was just brilliant? Like I like to have things that niggle away, and why have they done that? Yeah, I'm kind of really pleased that we get to have these conversations. So I don't think there's much more to say on that, to be honest. We're literally, 4 minutes away from SmackDown. I think we've kind of largely covered everything. We've spoken about the Roman news. We've spoken about Asuka and Miz and Cesaro. Bobby Lashley as well is someone that might be missing. We've spoken about what the Boneyard match is and about, is it the right time to be doing that kind of a match? We've really gone in depth about WrestleMania and about, should it have been postponed or not? And we've spoken a little bit about the Funhouse. I think that's about everything. There's lots of little bits of news that's been coming out, a lot of little things that people have been up to. But I would say those are probably the big headlines that we needed to box off. And we have definitely boxed them off. Don't forget as well that after SmackDown, we have got the Holly Dead interview over on the Insiders Wrestling podcast. We will be jumping over there. If you are young, I would urge that you probably stay away. But if you're a big fan of swearing, it's like your dream interview. We got like a 2-minute segment of it, and literally there was like swear word, swear word, swear word, swear word, and swear word, swear word, swear. So, yeah, it's going to be fascinating. I like hearing what she's got to say, and apparently she does have a message for me in particular, because of course I have been having a slight disagreement with her best friend Thunder Rosa. Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that Holly Dead and Thunder Rosa are best friends, so yeah, jump over there after, because it should be fascinating. Days Kevin Owens and Humberto Carrillo weren't at tapings. Ooh. Anthony says, why was The Miz allowed in sick? That's very irresponsible. Yeah, it's a very good point by what Vegan was making. A lot of these symptoms might not show themselves straight away. I don't think that The Miz is going to have gone and shown up with symptoms. I think that he's gone and the symptoms have potentially shown themselves, as he's there. I can't believe The Miz is stupid enough to wake up ill and not get on the phone to someone first. Like, if I woke up in a hotel ill and I was having to go to a TV taping, first thing I would do, I'm calling Vince or I'm calling whoever's backstage, yeah? I'm calling him up going, look, I've just woken up. These are my symptoms. What do you want me to do? And honestly, if they've turned around and said, just come in, they deserve every criticism under the sun. Every criticism under the sun. If I'm actually really looking forward to more information on that story. I want to know. I completely agree with what Vegan was saying, and I completely agree with Anthony. How has that happened? How has Miz gone in with those symptoms? Apparently, the Usos were furious. Absolutely furious, and rightfully so. We get to see Undertaker today, do we? Undertaker's feuding with AJ, that's Raw. So, do we? The Miz could have allergies. So you think it might not be like virus, it might be that he was coughing and sneezing because he's, allergic to bad booking. Can you imagine if he was allergic to bad booking in WWE? Man, that would suck. That would be awful. You wouldn't cope. Right, my friends, we are going over to SmackDown. Here we go. New Funhouse tonight, my friends, so we got that to look forward to. Any news on Linux? No news on Linux, no. Yes, I did watch the Benoit thing, the Benoit documentary. It was very good. Very good. No denying that. I don't think there was a great deal in there that I personally didn't already know. Because this is a subject that's been spoken about a lot. But definitely more in depth than anything I've seen before. Here we go. WrestleMania begins a week tomorrow. We are just 8 days away. Cameron, I was surprised, obviously. Will they? Miz and Morrison are going to defend the tag titles. Winners face Miz, Morrison for the tag team championships. So New Day versus Usos. We've got Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Of course, they can't change direction here. They've got to give us the shows that were pre-recorded. They're going to show us WrestleMania 32. Why are they doing that? Triple H, Roman Reigns. We are actually watching WrestleMania 32 on Sunday. And a brand new episode of the Firefly Funhouse tonight as well. They're going to make us wait for that, aren't they? They're not stupid. Right, Sasha on the way. Legit boss. And they're using the CGI. I think that's the first time I've seen it used in the Performance Center. Pushing on out the way. Yes, y'all. Banks looks awesome. Looks great. Sasha Banks and Bayley. Promo time. 308 days. Bayley has been champ for. Repeats. Bet you wish you were showing someone teleporting instead. CGI. Yeah, they got the legit boss. Knuckle things. Half the roster is sick. Certainly seems that way. Notice how they said 1 week away from Roman facing Goldberg. Yeah, it's all recorded. It's all pre-recorded. I think they might be re-editing Raw. That would be my expectation, but I don't think there was any time to re-edit this SmackDown. If the wrestlers were allergic to bad booking, WWE would have no wrestlers left. It's very true. They'd have gone out of business a long time ago. Life can change, dreams can come true. Our WrestleMania is going to be a nightmare. Because of what Paige did. Why are they... I wonder why Paige is so prominent in this. Bayley talking a lot about Paige here, saying that she's sad, she's pathetic, she's irrelevant. I wonder if Paige could come back. They're talking a lot about her. Unless she's going to come out tonight. Days, look at the cool fan. He's dressed up as Hurricane Helms. Yeah, all the fans in attendance tonight in fancy dress. It's good to see. Bayley able to work heel, but she sure can't walk in heels. Oh, here comes Lacey. Here comes Lacey. Lacey Evans on her way. Nasty. Paige return. Maybe screws over one of them at WrestleMania. Well, I mean, with Dana out, there is a spot that needs to be filled now, isn't there? I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting it, but I'm just saying they are spending a lot of time talking about Paige. You just can't keep your damn mouth shut, can you? Bailey calling Lacey a loser. A match between these two officiated by Paige. That's a good shout. Would have been good. Paige could have cost Sasha the match, building on the back of Sasha injuring her. Yeah, that'd probably be a better way of using Paige. Rather than trying to make her wrestle, she could have been guest ref. We want glitches. Yeah, what has happened to the glitches? Here comes Naomi. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. It's like, wow. That's the biggest I've ever seen it. Doon, 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 doon. Hello, Beaver Cleavage. Hope you're well. I understand the company didn't officially announce Reigns and Miz's out, but they have to have the withdrawal to know that the general public know they're both not fighting. I think they couldn't edit it tonight, bud. This is pre-recorded, and I don't think they could go in and edit it. I'd imagine they'll probably address it on Raw. There's probably a chance to change it on Raw. Okay, here comes Tamina. Tamina, I haven't seen Tamina in like forevs. I wonder if will Dana come out? Because Dana was announced. This is a 6-pack challenge, isn't it? So Dana was announced, but apparently Dana is now not involved. So I'll be interested to know if Dana comes out, or do we get to know Dana's replacement, or is it not a 6-pack? Maybe it's now a 5. Perhaps they're just going to ignore the fact they mentioned Dana. Actions speak louder than words. Headbutt Tamina onto Naomi. Super kick to Lacey Evans. Sasha, Bailey stomping down on that. Why have they turned their backs on Tamina? They've just watched what Tamina's done. This is stupid. What are they doing? This is ridiculous. They're trying to put over Tamina here as being this big, strong, dominant, scary person. Great. La 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 la. Why is she dressed like a boomer? Days, did Naomi just get out of bed? That is... I have no idea. That hair is huge. She definitely volumized. I know that much. She used volumizers. All of the volumizers. We got Sami. Okay, so next it's Drew Goulet versus Nakamura. If Goulet wins, Daniel Bryan gets an Intercontinental Championship match, but I don't think Daniel Bryan's going to be at WrestleMania. Imagine if it ends up being Nia Jax's return. Tamina would make a great maths teacher. What? They ignored Dana on Twitter. Well, look, they just ignored her there. It seems like there was no mention that Dana now isn't involved. I think they're just going to quietly forget they mentioned her. So I think what they want is they want us to just go, Dana, what? Nah, then we never mentioned Dana. It's 5-pack. Yeah, we said 5-pack. We said 5-pack last week, don't you remember? I'm sure you said 6. You said 6. Tamina's going to be the next champ. I can't believe next weekend is WrestleMania. Yeah, neither can I. The build, I mean, look, the build has been pretty poor, but that's because obviously these are not the shows that were planned. I really believe that we would have got some big moments if it wasn't for this, but yeah, look, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. They need to make a big statement. I feel, right, and again, it's one of those that can be debated, but I feel that they should bring CM Punk in on Raw. I think you give him the money. Apparently he is up for it. It's WWE that are not so up for it. But apparently he is open to it if the money is there. I think give him the money. Bring him in on Raw. Create that buzz. Get everyone talking about WrestleMania. Because it doesn't have that buzz at the moment. I mean, at the moment, people are talking about WrestleMania and they're talking about how it should have been postponed. They're talking about the fact that it's going to be a mess. They're talking about the fact that people are falling ill. I think, you know, wrestling fans are having the conversation. But is the wider world having the conversation? I mean, look at Raw's ratings last week. Raw's ratings were like 2 million. That's awful. This close to WrestleMania. Absolutely awful numbers. They've got to do something to wake people up. Or, you know, to kind of make people aware that WrestleMania is coming. So, yeah, I would make a big statement. A big statement. It might not be the ideal way to bring him back. That's why I'm saying it's controversial. But you've got to do something to let people know that WrestleMania is a week tomorrow. WrestleMania's a week tomorrow. Even I'm doing watch-alongs for it, and even I haven't got my head around that it's a week tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I'm not ready for it. Like next week, next week would be the go-home Raw, the go-home SmackDown. It should be TakeOver at Tampa Bay. It should be all of that Access kind of footage. You know, people walking around the conference centers, all the meet and greets, the little videos that they put onto YouTube and all that kind of stuff. It should be the stage reveal that they always do. You know, you get that like the day before. We've seen Vince do it, haven't we? Talking to camera and then like showing us the stage behind. I remember the one year all the women in the ring doing it. You know, all those little things that go into WrestleMania week. That's next week. That's next week, and it just absolutely does not feel like it at all. At all. It's crazy. It is crazy. I'm literally the only person in the world that doesn't want CM Punk back. He's had a million interviews saying he doesn't want to, and he said he gave WWE a price, and they said no. Yeah, it's true. I've heard that. I've heard that he has said this is how much, and they're not interested. But I think now more than ever, and I really mean this, more than ever, they need CM Punk right now. They need some way of promoting this WrestleMania, because these ratings are not improving at all. They're not budging. If anything, they're declining. Like 2 million people tuned into Raw on Monday, and everyone's stuck indoors. Do you know what I mean? People are on lockdown. Like, WWE must have looked at those numbers and had a slight panic. Right, it's not Daniel Bryan, is it? It is Drew Goulet. This year has definitely started off crazy. Yes. Shout out to April and April's sons. Or son, is it son? April's son. The son of April. Shout out to all of you. Goulet is handsome. Breaking news. Chris says, I'm not a Punk fan either, but a lot of people are. Yeah, I mean, look, not even CM Punk. If you want to swap that for anyone that you think is going to bring in hype, I would say probably CM Punk's the biggest name that can do that. We've already seen Stone Cold, for example. I honestly don't know who else is out there that could bring that kind of publicity. I genuinely don't know who they could bring in, unless you go into like the celebrity world. But I'd rather they didn't do that. I'd rather they go and get an actual wrestler. Go out and get the biggest wrestler, the biggest name they can. And I think you've got to say that CM Punk. This will be a good match. I agree, Wrestling Days fam. I think this will be a good match as well. Nails says, I'm a huge Punk fan. I just want people to get over bringing him back. It's a good point. Fair point. Vegan says, does the WrestleMania buy rate still generate the same kind of talking point that it used to? Or has that become somewhat superficious, what with most WWE fans having access to the network? Yeah, I don't think the buy rates are kind of as big a deal anymore. I think actually it's the network subscribers that are the biggest deal. I think they see a nice bump around this time of year that obviously has a big benefit to the company. And WrestleMania, obviously, such a big deal for the network that I think they probably more so look at network subscribers and increases rather than pay-per-view buys so much. But yeah, I think there's a few indicators on it. Gaming in Real Time says, how are you doing? Here's $2. Lol. Thank you, Gaming in Real Time. Those are my dream kind of super chats. That's what I love. Little super chats like that. Just, I see your comment. I can read your comment out. Couple of dollars. Lovely stuff. Shout out to everyone that's joining us on this very strange day. The news that's been coming through has been extreme. And, that is, dare I say, making this stream a little heavier than usual, a little more serious than usual, because there's some very serious issues going on in the world. So, yeah, we'll try and watch the matches. We'll try and have a laugh and a joke, as we always try to do. But I think it's absolutely right that we do tackle the bigger subjects that are going on. One of the biggest subjects right now are those brutal kicks by Nakamura. I do like Goulet's ring attire. It's very simple. It's just trunks, but it's orange. It's not a colour that you see all that often. Orange and black. Orange and black. Drew Gulak. There we go. So if ever you're playing wrestling bingo, you can have that. Orange and black. Drew Gulak. There you go. If you want a fun little thing, can you think of any more little wrestling rhymes like that? Could be about attire. Could be about their moves. Orange and black. Drew Gulak. What else have you got, chat? What else have you got? The rumour is that Bryan isn't on WrestleMania. That is true. Days, maybe Punk, Rock, and Hogan. Yeah. I mean, Rock would do it. I think they could probably go and get the Rock, and I think they should, as long as it's all, you know what I mean. No one on set. It's all proper healthy. They can bring him in. Just, I mean, like, it's filmed, isn't it? So, like, there doesn't need to be anyone but a cameraman and The Rock. And have him come out and have him do the open or something, and then announce it that The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania. That's the kind of buzz that they need. So The Rock is a very good shout. WWE has relied on nostalgia acts for so long to get them ratings. They don't know how to get the machine behind more than one or two people at a time. Talent is told not to get themselves over. Yeah, I think the reason talent is told that is because they will get themselves over in ways that differentiate from the planned stories. Little roll up by Goulet. Nice. And a flip over as well. And Goulet gets the win. So, there we go. It's going to be Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, maybe, but probably not. There we go. Daniel Bryan says, hey, Sami, I'm going to come for you at WrestleMania. A very upset, very distraught-looking Nakamura. Probably not going to read that one, Chalmers. Wrestling Rhyme, CM Punk takes the bump. The Rock, Hogan, Sting, AJ Lee, and Brock Lesnar son versus Rey Mysterio's son. I want to see the Great Khali versus Tatanka. Well, both are still alive, so it could happen. Right, so we've got through that match. It was quite a short match. We've still got Firefly Funhouse coming up. I think we're probably going to go to a WrestleMania 32 match very soon, because I think all of this will come in the second hour. But commercial break first. Adventure awaits. Days, have you got the Mania shirt yet? No, not yet. Not yet. I'm in serious pain because of Sami Zayn. Days the Pirate. Days, sorry I'm late. What have I missed? J14, not a great deal. We've had some very serious conversations in the first hour. And now we had pretty poor first segment with the women. But a decent match just on between Nakamura and Goulet. Goulet getting the win, which means that it'll be Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. We've got a Funhouse coming up. We've got Asuka versus Alexa coming up. But we've also got a repeat of WrestleMania 32. Not the whole thing, just Roman Triple H. Days, orange and black were our high school sports team colours. The Brighton Bulldogs. Well, maybe Drew Gulak went to your high school. I don't know. Hear this is a good one from Vegan. Hear him complain. It's Sami Zayn. Boris Johnson has got coronavirus. He does. I need a cup of tea with Booker T. I'm in a fiddle. All because of Matt Riddle. I can't ignore you, Shinsuke Nakamura. Some of these are really good. We should just get Asuka to dance for 30 minutes. I would prefer that over watching WrestleMania 32 match, because we are watching WrestleMania 32 on Sunday, which got amazing views, by the way. Apparently 800,000 people, like way more, tuned in to WrestleMania 30 on Sunday than tuned in to NXT on Wednesday. So, yeah, crazy views. So we will 100% be watching WrestleMania 32 on Sunday. Or whatever they give us. It was an edited version. Nails and NY says, Bray Wyatt or we riot. Rusty Shackelford is here. Rusty! No one tells Rusty what to do. Rusty, Rusty, I don't know if you was on the Insiders podcast earlier. We was going to check on you and see if you wanted to join us, but no one tells Rusty what to do. No one tells Rusty what to do, so we decided against it. So, I need to give some thank yous. I need to give a thank you to Moda for dropping a $20 donation earlier, and a thank you as always to Rusty Shackelford. for dropping $20 donation as well. So shout out to Rusty. No one tells Rusty what to do. Bailey looks like the fabulous Moolah from the neck up. Rusty, if you are just joining us, I don't know how long you've been with us, but we're currently doing little rhymes just to pass the times. We're doing some little rhymes. The Insiders Wrestling Podcast says we're going to interview Rusty tomorrow. How about that? I'd be fascinated to hear Rusty and what Rusty's got to say. So looking forward to hearing what Rusty's got to say. Roses are red, violets are blue. Sheamus is going to brogue kick you. That's nice. That's nice. We're going to have a feast because here comes the beast. That is Cooper. Cooper slays. There we go. The match has been made, but might also have to be cancelled. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. Where is Corey Graves, by the way? They haven't mentioned it at all, have they? I'm guessing he's in self-isolation with Carmella. You've got to give credit to Michael Cole doing this on his own. Do you know what I mean? There's no one there to fill in for those quiet moments. I know what that's like. I can sympathise with what that's like. What have we got now? A little recap of last Friday. Heavy Machinery and Otis and Dolph. Roses are red. We love the bubbly. My mate Delboy thinks you're lovely jubbly. I want to dance with Asuka. Why don't you ask her? I'm not sure if that actually rhymes, but I see what you've tried. I ventured through the YouTube channel maze to find the best channel. Wrestling Days. Oh, BBBYPSI. Even your username rhymes. Shout out to you. Royal Rumble this Tuesday. Will you do a watch along for that? Is there a Royal Rumble this Tuesday? Is there? I haven't seen that. If there is, then potentially yes. NWA this Tuesday as well, though. So as long as it doesn't get in the way of that. The glitch! The glitch! They've really got to sort that glitch out. Oh, yeah! Otis, look. Otis trying to get at Dolph. You don't deserve Mandy, is what Otis just shouted. You don't deserve Mandy! Look, he's got a shirt that says Ham and Slam. So, Otis versus Dolph at WrestleMania. That's cool. Kind of thought it would head that way, but that's cool. That's a match I'm down for seeing. Doctor. 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 Hello, Elias. Didn't. I didn't do that, Elias. You barged into my home. Greatest wrestler of all time, Kurt Angle. Getting in a muddle with Terry... couldn't even do it. Getting in a muddle with Terry Runnels. I'd like to get in a muddle with Terry Runnels. Why am I struggling with the word Terry? It's one of the easiest names ever. WrestleMania is too big for one night. You know Vince loves that. You know he is giggling his head off like a little schoolgirl. They tried to copyright Too Big for One Night, and there's got to be a million porn companies that have already done that. I was thrown in a fire by Drew McIntyre. Connor says, I love Elias's songs. Sophia says, we love glitches. We love glitches. Days at the end of the Triple H Killer Cross video package. What was at the end? My name is Elias, and WWE stands for World Wrestling Entertainment. Says the August Goose. Sonny Wolf says peanut butter sprinkle toast. I've no idea what you're on about. Days, that glitch only happens when Dolph is on TV. Well, there we go. They're coming for Dolph. And King Corbin is coming for Elias. He's stomping away on Elias. They're on that platform just above where the NXT commentary table usually is. Where Johnny and Tommaso hurled each other off of. King Corbin with that scepter right. Oh, Elias over there. Everyone falls off that platform. They need to make the barricades a bit taller, don't they? There you go. Look, it's just hanging on with one hand. This is so dramatic. Here we go. Look, Elias gets boshed in the head and down he goes. That was shot very well. Well, it's been that shot well. That's the benefit of having it taped. It looks as if he's fallen straight onto that floor. That was shot well. I gotta give him credit for that. That was cool. Kind of felt like something out of like Days of Our Lives. Quinn81 says, flying through the sky, Io Shirai. I like that one, Quinn81. I like that one. I appreciate the fact that that is exactly what she does. So, Ali is our pally. Says Nails. Nails and NY, yeah. Read mine. Elias walks the line. Nice. How am I going to say your name? APG Juju TikTok. App Juju TikTok. Shout out to you. What's in all the poetry? Look, we're just amusing ourselves. We're just trying to have a little bit of fun. It's all thanks to Drew Gulak, who was wearing ring attire that was orange and black. So it was the orange and black Drew Gulak that started all the poetry. But this is where we are. I'm on the lash with Kevin Nash. Those glitches are something to see. How much you want to bet they're all because of Ali? Mo Jones. I tell you what, we've stumbled across something rather wonderful here. Those glitches are really something to see. How much do you want to bet it's all about Ali? That's very clever. Mohammed 1, I love that little circle emoji thing. Did Elias just get written off TV? I hope so. Hello to Alex. Hope you're well, buddy. I really want to learn to bake with Earthquake, says Ben the Tank. That's going to be a lot of baking. He was a big guy. Who is on SmackDown commentary? Just Michael Cole. Just Michael Cole. You better not mock The Rock and Sock, says Galaxy Shadow. The epitome of boring, it's Baron Corbin. I like that one. The epitome of boring, it's Baron Corbin. Days, I got you a date with Candice LeRae. Okay, that doesn't rhyme, but I'm totally interested still, so yeah, drop me a DM on that. Hello, famous KJ Carter, hope you're well. I'm putting effort into these rhymes, says Sean Flagstaff. A lot of people are. We've had some wonderful ones. I live for Bray Wyatt. He makes me riot, says Sonny Wolf. Dolph will get attacked at Mania, I think, by the guy that does the glitches, Mustafa Ali, says Dom15. Yeah, I do agree that the glitches seem to happen when Dolph is on screen, so it really could be a case that there is a connection there. So I think that match is interesting anyway, but I think it's going to be extra interesting because we might finally find out what the glitches have been about. It's kind of one of the only mysteries left, isn't it? We kind of know Killer Cross is in NXT. We obviously know who the Exalted One is. We know where Matt Hardy's gone, so kind of feel like the glitches is kind of like the final thing. Michael Cole talking in a very somber tone. Yeah, it was a horrific attack. Horrific attack. Jer Hentz says, Brock's the Beast and Bray's the Fiend. Talent gets wasted in WWE. I thought that was going to rhyme. It didn't. I was ready for the rhyme. Brock's the Beast and Bray's the Fiend. Talent gets wasted in WWE. Do you know what? It's not a rhyme. It's just a fact. The pig named Huskus is the most attractive amongst us, says CJ. Well, Huskus is my favourite. Those rhymes are on a roll. Let's go. Michael Cole, says APG Juju TikTok. Days, you missed my question. What was it, bud? The chat is on fire with rhymes at the moment. The chat is on fire with rhymes. I want to be satisfied by Trish Stratus, says Jim Court. We've got Asuka on the way. This is someone else that I'm hearing is out of WrestleMania. And I love her as well. I love you. Oh, no. I think everyone loves Asuka now. She's proper over, isn't she? Proper over just because of her dancing and her commentary. It's not even because she is legit one of the best wrestlers. She's just really getting her personality across now. She's brilliant. I am the future. Do-no-no. It's quite dark in there, isn't it? How does the mask stay on? That's my question. Does anyone know how the mask actually stays on? Does it like clip onto the nose or something? Because it never has any string. Like she always can just take it off. How does the mask actually attach to her face? Has anyone ever answered this? Because she never has to take it off like that. She can always just take it off. How does it stay on? Don't worry, Elias has been transported to a medical facility. She's always enjoying herself. Asuka is super talented and drop dead gorgeous. Rusty says it's sticky. Do you think that's what it is? It's sticky. Do you think it's just got like double-sided tape on the inside? Perhaps it's just like a massive, you know, those suckers you can get. It's just like stuck onto her face like that. She has to like literally just pull it off like a plunger. Shout out to Craig McKay. She uses a mouth bite. Oh, does she? So she, like, there's a bit that goes into her mouth and she holds it like that. So as she's walking down to the ring, she's like, she must be, mustn't she? That makes sense. Here you go, Asuka is going full on crazy. I love how Nikki Cross is sitting on the comment, like turned, talking to Michael Cole like this. This is good. I like. It doesn't matter that there's no crowd for this match. Look, you got Asuka that's just chatting away, and there's a little bit of showmanship between the two, a little bit of showboating between the two. Nikki Cross on commentary as well. Look at these forearm strikes that Asuka's just screaming and loving. Brand new episode of the Funhouse tonight. Dropkick to the midsection by Alexa Bliss. Days, I need a tan, says Linda McMahon. GS17Q, shout out to you. Michael Cole has got a girlfriend. This is awesome, says JS12LFC. Michael Cole, he speaks to your soul, says Nails NY. Here we go, look. Asuka doing a dancing as Alexa is down. Come on, Lexi. Come on, Lexi. Trying to rally. Literally no one there. Big strike to Asuka. Asuka goes down on the outside. Now it's Alexa that's doing the dancing. Oh, yeah? Kick to the midsection. Asuka going down again. And now it's Nikki that's doing the dancing. Everyone's doing the dancing. I want Michael Cole to do the dancing. Can someone make Michael Cole do the dancing? And now Asuka's doing the dancing again. We don't care. We don't care. I think they knew that blew up online, and now that's all we're getting. This isn't a wrestling match. It's a dance-off. It's like two tribes coming together to do a dance-off. WWE is a big fail for making us wait for Sister Abigail, says BBYPSI. Days, I'm not feeling old for Goldberg. You're not... Days, I'm not feeling old. Is that meant to rhyme? I don't understand. Goldberg and old don't rhyme. Days, I hope you and your mother are great. Spiky2999. Thank you for such a wonderful message. Sending good thoughts to me and my mother. Days, do the Asuka mask. What do you mean, do the Asuka mask? Is that a new dance? Do the Asuka mask. Days, I've got a date with Tyler Bate, says young Astro. Hello, gorgeous. Have I missed the Fiend? I don't even need to look as to who said that now. Whenever I see hello, gorgeous, I know straight away it's Human Detox. Human, you've not missed the Fiend yet. The Fiend will probably be towards the end. We've got a WrestleMania 32 match that they're going to subject us to first. Triple H versus Roman, which I actually don't mind because that's the one where Steph gets speared, which is quite a fun little moment. She takes it like a trooper. So yeah, I'm all right. Well, look, I'm not gonna say I'm all right with watching it because I don't want to watch it. I want to watch original new content. So yeah, I'm not a fan of being subjected to watching matches I've already seen, but I'm just saying the match, it's not the worst, and hopefully not the longest. The Royal Rumble was like an hour. This one hopefully will be, 20-odd minutes? I don't know how long it'll go on for. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to sit through that. Probably next. If it involves The Fiend Bray Wyatt, I might have to buy it, says Chalmers. These streams be on the ranks. Let's get the title on Sasha Banks. Is Asuka the best superstar? Maybe there's a chance. The Fiend might have a word to say on that by doing the Muscle Man dance. That was good, Bryan. That was good because that was a whole sentence rhyme. As I was reading it, I was like, I feel like this could have a rhyme in there somewhere. And I was right to think that way. Days, how is Kia? She's on the mend all the time, thank you. She's enjoying life outside again. Right, we were going back from the ad break. We're still at Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. I had a bad SROM with Tony Storm. Nice try, Mosen. Imtia's Days, I was contemplating going to A&E because I forgot to take medication at the weekend, but I'm staying home to call the pharmacy in the morning. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what A&E is looking like at the moment, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know, I haven't heard what hospitals are like. I know a lot are pretty full. It's getting to the point now where they're putting beds in, like, conference centres and things like that, so... Right, we're back anyway. Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Leave her alone. They're in the middle of a match. Nikki Cross says, come on, Michael. Lexi. And Michael has to join in. Big strikes coming in by Asuka. Nice kick to the midsection, and Lexi goes through the ropes. Little dancing by Asuka. Here we go. Against the rope, looking for a hip attack. Gets it, but Lexi moves out the way. She's banging on the commentary table now, Nikki Cross. She's actually dropped her headset off. I've got it together. She's a mess. The woman's a mess. Wrestlemania too big for one night, so fight Owens, fight, says Anthony JCP. Here we go, on the edge of the ring, the hardest part of the ring. Looking for a DD. Oh, Asuka gets slammed down, face first. This could be the turning point. Days, I'm going green mist. Just watching Alexa Bliss. JS17Q. Here we go. 1, 2. Kick out by Asuka. Nikki Cross saying that was a 3. 3. It was a 3. It was a 3. Eric DeRucci says, Days, how's the quarantine? It's absolutely fine, mate. It's the same as... Quarantine life is the same as non-quarantine life for me. It's a benefit of living in the middle of nowhere. Don't go out much anyway. Asuka down in the corner. Here we go, Asuka charging over. Clothesline, Asuka goes down. Duck underneath by Alexa. Big strikes coming in. Big right hands. Basement drop kick. Fight through the pain. Scouts Yanks 24 says Days Roman Triple H match is about 40 minutes long. What? I thought it was about 20 minutes. No. God. Okay, well, look, let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Alexa on the outside slams Asuka face first and then hurls her into the LED screen. There's no give on that. That's what you get. I like Nikki Cross on commentary. I think Michael does as well. He's having a little giggle to himself. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. Asuka kicks out. Michael Cole says, why do you keep hitting me? Michael Cole says this is actually not for the tag titles. Michael Cole's telling Nikki Cross to take a deep breath. Oh! DDT! 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of Alexa Bliss getting a clean win over Asuka. No. No. Michael Cole says having Nikki Cross on commentary was very unique. It was a lot of fun. Did you order the I Wasn't There shirt yet? I haven't, but I will. Dun-dun-dun. Swamp Manor says, Days, I've got a spider. I've called him Zack Ryder. There we go. Alexa Bliss gets a clean win over Asuka. Asuka, who's very popular at the moment. Usos! Backstage in the dark. Days, I really enjoy the content you put out. I've been watching the live stream since October. Shout out to you, Spikey2999. Sonny Wolf says, welcome to the Funhouse. We might have some buns in the house. We have got some buns in the house. Hello! I've got some buns. Days, Umaga had a date with Sammy Guevara. Says, Paris... What? Paris... the face. What? That's the most mental username. I can't even make it out. I love it, though. I love the fact you've got a face in your username. Triple H versus Roman Reigns. WrestleMania 32. Up next. I don't want it. The last Raw before WrestleMania. Should be a big show, but Roman Reigns versus live. They're not. It's not live. Live. It's not live. Live! What? Live. It's not live. What are they on about? They've lost their minds. King Corbin gets all the booze, but Charlotte gets the woos. Says Burke. Shout out to you. In the morning, I'm driving just like Kairi Sane, but after work from a distance, I look more like Killian Dane, says Sean Flagstaff. We are now literally drowning in rhymes. You know when you start something and you think, wow, I didn't expect that to go like this far. I didn't expect that to go like this. That's exactly what I'm thinking now. Now literally the chat is just full of wrestling rhymes. All thanks to Orange and Black, Drew Gulak. Days, who is your favourite female legend in WWE? Probably Alundra Blaze. But honestly, Asuka's right up there. She's right up there. I feel like you won't appreciate how great Asuka was until she retires. Like her in-ring is the matches that she can put on are incredible. Her streak was incredible. Her promos now they weren't ever a thing before, but now her promos, and I think her personality is starting to come through now. And obviously her YouTube channel as well, people loving on that. So Asuka's like a fine wine. She just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. So Alundra Blaze is maybe my all-time favourite. I think what she was doing in the 90s and the matches she was having with the likes of Bertha Faye and Bull Nakano, and you know, for me, she was women's wrestling. She literally, it was her. She was women's wrestling when I was growing up because I didn't know anyone else. So she made a big impression on me. But Asuka now, absolutely love her. Dig in for days. It's Corey Graves, says Liam. Hello, Nicola. Shout out to you. Shout out to Italy as well. I haven't seen how you guys are doing at the moment, but I hope things are settling down. Days, I got a money order from the Dark Order, says Eric. Guys, pray for us all during this pandemic, says John Elite. Yes, absolutely. Thoughts, it goes without saying, thoughts are with all of you at this very difficult time. I mean, that's just a given, but it is worth saying that, I hope everyone is doing well. And you know, stay indoors. I think everyone knows now how serious this is. I hope the message is out there now that, you know, this isn't what we first thought, which is that it doesn't affect young people. It seems like it is having an impact on all age groups. So, don't go out. Don't be silly. Stay indoors. Watch wrestling. I'm not even saying watch wrestling days. I wouldn't. I would strongly advise against it. Just watch wrestling. And, just stay safe. Stay safe. Eat some lovely food if you can get any. Like, supermarkets are pretty much stripped, aren't they? But, try and eat some lovely food. And have something nice to drink. Treat yourself. And just catch up. I've been watching that Tiger King. Have you seen Tiger King on Netflix? So good. So good. I thought it was just like a one-off thing, but it's actually like 7-8 episodes long. I'm halfway through. Halfway through at the moment, so I don't know how it ends. But yeah, I am going to try and watch some of that over the weekend. Finish it. Rob Gronkowski hosts WrestleMania. If anyone is going to end up in a grave during that Boneyard match, if it ends up being Rob Gronkowski, then I'm just, I'll go on a limb of saying this is the best WrestleMania ever. Days, do you have FS1? Apparently they're going to replay the Rumble on Tuesday. We don't really have FS1, to be honest, but, Google does, so I can find a way. We love to be on Braze, but we love to be with you wrestling days, says Cooper Slays. Here we go. Look, this is WrestleMania 32. Again, just a reminder, we are streaming a watch-along on Sunday for this. And this, I believe, was the main event. We've got Stephanie doing the introduction, and Triple H is the WWE champion at this point. Of course, coming out, you've got all of those school people. I don't quite get the entrance. It's school people. I think they did Triple H WrestleMania entrance figures for WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania 32. You could get Triple H with the title and that little school mask. You could get those in figure form. This was a big WrestleMania as well. A lot of people at this. I don't know if this is the one that set the attendance record, but I seem to recall it was a huge WrestleMania. You could get Steph in figure form as well. They made that Steph. Steph looking like $1 million there. And so is Triple H. He is ripped. And here, look at the boos! Can you hear the boos? I don't know how you look at boos, but can you hear the boos? Look at the people that are booing. Everyone's in isolation except for the Nation of Domination, says Lee Bishop. Did I really see what I thought? Is that Matt Hardy? Did he teleport? Says Nails and NY. Sean Reset says, Days, I've never seen this match. Do you know what? It's alright, It was alright. It's not an amazing match. It's not one of the all-time greats, but it's alright. I would like to just remain consistent with my messaging, though, that this sucks, that we have to sit through another recap of another match because they're not able to give us 2 hours of content, which NXT could, AEW could, but for some reason SmackDown aren't able to. So a little frustrating. He was really bold. It's Stone Cold, says IB Gang. Logic Gaming says, Days, what is better, AEW or NXT? We don't really do it that way, to be honest. We do it by a segment by segment, show by show kind of a thing. I mean, naturally you are going to compare them because they're on at the same time and they are competing for views. So, it's understandable people comparing them. I felt this past week was about the same. I think both had really good moments and I think both had questionable moments. So I think I scored them both 7.5. I don't think either show had a brilliant episode. Certainly this week's AEW wasn't as great as the week before, but saying that, the week before they revealed the Exalted One. We got the first reveal of Matt Hardy as well, so it was a big episode. And don't forget, this week was meant to be Blood and Guts, so they had to pull this episode out of nowhere. So credit to AEW and credit to NXT as well, because Raw can't give you a full show of new content. SmackDown can't give you a full show of new content. NXT did. So credit to them. Shoulder charge by Roman. We've just had Triple H trying to mess up Roman's hair. That's the most heelish thing I've ever seen. Days, this is probably the 10th time you've responded to my comment. Thanks a lot. No worries, Logic Gaming. UTV, hello. Miss Clown 1 says, I'm having a ball with Scott Hall. Ben the Tank says, I'm dancing all night with Alex Wright. Zach says, is it just me, or did I see the Fiend feeding the Velveteen Dream? That was just you. WrestleMania 32's announced attendance was 102,000. It's reported that it was actually more, 94 to 96. Still a record. Something in my head said it was a record. I seem to remember 32 being a really awful WrestleMania. Like, I didn't enjoy it, but I remember it being the biggest. Biggest isn't always better, people. Just remember that. Roman has got nuclear heat, yes. Roman's heat would only get more nuclear. I mean, he was getting booed out of the building at WrestleMania 32. By WrestleMania 33, when we thought he had retired The Undertaker, I legit thought he was going to get jumped. Abdor says, I love Roman Reigns. Not all says WWE is unwatchable. I'm sorry, but I would rather watch Jericho cutting a promo on a drone. Too much to handle. A motivated Johnny Gargano. Shout out to LSW. We've just gone to commercial break, so we're at the halfway point. Get your scores in. Oh, yeah, this is a new film, isn't it? This is cool. So, this is a kid that apparently could put a mask on and get super strength. It's going to be on Netflix. There's cameos by Keith Lee and Otis and Kofi and Miz. It's called The Main Event. You can see the trailer now, and it's on Netflix on April 10th. It looks really cool. That's the kind of really great family film that I think WWE should be doing a lot more of. Jesse Callin says, because I had nothing better to do for a moment. Yeah, I'm loving these YouTube emojis. I don't know where they've come from, but they're really cool. Yeah, get your scores in. We've got Lauren with a 6.25. We got Wrestling Days fan with a 3. We got Tony with a 4.5. We got Jacko with a 3.5 and lots of exclamation marks. Really wanting that to stand out. Ben Russell says 9 out of 10. I'm really enjoying the show. William Hensey says the main event. Lol, laugh. LMAO. I changed it to lol. 5 out of 10 says Sophia. 6.25 says Shane. Sunny Wolf says, my birthday is April 9th. Well, there we go. A little present for you the very next day. Keep the wave going. 3.5 out of 10 says LSW. Jesse says question mark out of 10. Sunny Wolf says 5.6 Fiendlings. Bubbly says 4.20. Eric says, is that does that say 3, Eric, in that hand? I couldn't quite see. Think it's a 3. Kevin says 7. Sandman says 8. Sean says 6. Skulls Yanks 24 says 7. But that's only because the replayed match has only just started. Bradley says 3. Ahmed says 8. The movie on Netflix is better than the Page movie. 5 because of the virus, says Mo. 10 out of 10 because Lexi beat Asuka, says William. Are you a Lexi fan, William? Ahmed, 8. Andrew, 7. Johnny, 5. Famous KJ, 7.5. Jake Wrestle News, 7. Daniel Foot. These scores are all over the place. 8, says Steve. 10, says Cameron. Days, it's a 5. Oh, it's a 5, Eric. 1 from Ashton. 1 from Patrice. 3 from the big guy. 4 from Maddox. Amanda says 6. These scores are really all over the place. I think you can see for yourselves that we've got people going as low as 1s, but then people going up as like 8s and 10s. I think the reason for that, we're not normally a spread, but I think a lot of people are watching these shows just kind of giving. I think WWE are being given a lot of passes at the moment, you know, or people are watching these and genuinely loving every second. I thought the Alexa Bliss Asuka match was fine. It's not the best match I've ever seen, but I thought it was okay. I thought Nikki Cross on commentary was a lot of fun. Didn't really like the opening segment with the women, to be honest. So, I don't know. I'd probably be around about 4 or something. I'd probably be around that kind of a ballpark. Now we're getting a replay of a match. I think it's going to be another one of those shows, you know. It's one of them. I'm not going to be giving this a high score unless it's going to be a killer Firefly Funhouse. I can't see this show getting a very high score, but I'm certainly not going to be bashing them about it online. Because of the circumstances, you know, they're still giving us a show. I appreciate that. Big boot, Triple H goes down. We've got to see we have to see these stupid replays. I'm so happy we can sit here with Wrestling Days, says Mo Jones. Shout out to you, buddy. Don't forget as well, we are, about 50 odd minutes away from the Insiders Wrestling podcast. Massive interview tonight. Hollydead, one of the scariest female wrestlers. Someone that I really do think you're going to see some big things out of. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up going to like the NWA. She's best friends with Thunder Rosa, and you've got to know that Thunder Rosa's putting in good words about Hollydead. So wouldn't surprise me if Hollydead ended up in the NWA. So there's an interview with Hollydead on the Insiders. We're getting actual wrestlers being interviewed now on that Insiders Wrestling podcast. Last week's one with Jody was excellent. And I think like that's got the most views on the channel as well. So Jody, if you're around, you should be over the moon with that. Be great if the Hollydead one could do similar. So join us. I'll be in the chat after. Be warned, if you're a fan of swearing, you're going to absolutely love it. Every single word was pretty much a swear word. Roman comes crashing down on Triple H on the outside. Days, what would be your reaction if Matt Riddle was Roman's replacement? I'd freak, man. I think that'd be amazing. I don't expect it because, to be honest, I think I know who the replacement is anyway. But I wouldn't expect it because I think the heat between Goldberg and Matt Riddle is real. And I don't think Goldberg will do that match. I think Goldberg would just refuse. Stephanie is a little bit concerned. Hunter being thrown into ring steps on the outside by Roman. Marcus J, shout out to you. Sophia says, Days, I've got a rhyme. I'm making mash with Kevin Nash. That's the best kind of mash. You could have a ball with Scott Hall as well. I just noticed I missed the podcast. You did? Do you know we actually noticed you weren't there because you even got a shout out, Chalmers, and we were like, "Where is Chalmers?" So, do you know what I mean? I hope you feel bad. What is your dream faction? Mine is Ciampa, Omega, and Gargano. Let's move on from the rhymes because I think we're all rhymed out. Let's move on to dream factions. If you could put 3 wrestlers together, who would you put together? Big Big spear by Roman through the barricade. Barricade collapses. Look at the shock on the face of Steph. Totally Bella's. We're a tag team in everything we do. Well, there's a lot I could say to that. Johnny Bates says, all demons must hush. I'm eating cherries with Courtney Rush. My birthday is 4th of April. I'm actually happy to see Triple H versus Roman Reigns. I'm not sure I've seen the full match before. Days, do you prefer indoor or outdoor WrestleManias? Outdoor, 100% LSW. Jacko says, Dream Faction, Rosa Mendes, Dana Brooke, Axana. Done. Oh, Rusty! Oh, Days, this... Oh, okay, this is from Sunny Wolf. Don't shout me out. Oh. What? This is for her because she's always wanted to do this. Oh, look at that. Sunny Wolf, thank you very much, my friend. Shout out to Sunny Wolf. I'm going to drop you at the bottom. When I shouted out Rusty earlier, it's just because I like to do that every now and again. I do it sometimes when I wake up. First thing in the morning, I'll wake up and I'll just be like, Rusty! Like that. So that was the reason why I did that. But shout out to you, Sunny Wolf. Appreciate the support, my friend. A kiss sent your way. I haven't even done that for anyone else. Moda didn't get a kiss. Rusty didn't get a kiss. Joaquin says, Days, my faction. Aleister Black, Undertaker, and Fiend. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice faction. That's a real nice faction. Yeah, very cool. Thank you, Sunny Wolf. Really appreciate that. Kevin Steen, El Generico, and Bryan Danielson. That's like a Ring of Honor faction, isn't it? That's nice. Factions for current or past, either vegan, whatever. What, do you know what I mean? Let's not put these barriers up. Let's just go for it. Let's just tear the barriers down. Past, present, future, AEW, WWE, NWA, mix them all. Celebrities, doesn't even need to be wrestlers, just whatever. You might want the little baby. What was the baby called? What's the baby called? What was the baby called that was doing all the talent shows? Where's Google? Here we go. I don't know if I want this on my Google, to be honest, but here we go. Let's Google it. Hey, Google. Didn't catch that. Well, you didn't give me a chance. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Name. Hey, Google. Name the young, famous talent show kid. Here we go. Callum Courtney. Who the hell's Callum Courtney? Jackie at Charlotte. It's none of these. None of these people. Logan. It's not Logan. I don't know. I don't know who I'm even thinking of anymore. Who is it? Famous. Famous kid. Hey, Google. Famous. Ah, you stupid. Hey, Google. Famous kid. Talent. Famous kids who seem like angels but really are brats. I don't want to watch that. Famous kid. Biggest 5-year-old kid. Is it okay for my kid to start a YouTube channel? Is that from Mama Days? Disney, famous stars, TikTok. Oh, is it Honey Boo Boo? It might be Honey Boo Boo. Is it Honey Boo Boo? Honey Boo Boo. Hang on, let's have a look.
Here Comes Honey Boo Boo is an American television series that aired from 2012 to 2014 and starred Alana Thompson, June Shannon, and Anna Shannon.
Yes! Honey Boo Boo! Oh, God, after all of that, there she is. Look, that's who I was thinking of. Honey Boo Boo. So you might want to do a faction that's got Honey Boo Boo, Triple H, and Justin Bieber. So that would be that's my dream faction right there, straight up, not even joking. And I've said that so many times on previous streams. Honey Boo Boo, Triple H, Justin Bieber, spear by Roman. Steph goes down. Roman spears Steph. Ah! What a WrestleMania match! She's out cold. And McMahon is down. Pedigree! Triple H doesn't care! Do you think Steph's ever watched this match back? I hope Triple H tweets, I'm really sorry that I tried to pin Roman and didn't check on Steph. Steph, please accept my apology. Oh, spare, big dog. The Fiend, The Undertaker, and Roman Reigns. Can I just say that my search history does not look great right now? Yeah, if anyone's watching, I'm gonna throw it out there that this would be a very bad time for me to be investigated. Chalmers says Days, Adam Rotella, and Brian Rosa. It is already a faction, the Lightning Rosas. Shout out to you, Zach. My stable would be Alundra Blaze, Trish Stratus, and Eva Marie. Jim, what were you doing? Jim, you were doing so well. Alundra Blaze, Trish Stratus, and then you just drop in an Eva Marie. What are you doing? My gag reflex is going off. IB Gang says, let's not go there. Scotland Yard is watching you, Days. Shahib says, why are you flexing your phone? Why am I flexing my phone? What do you mean by flexing? I'm not showing off my phone. Restore factory settings. That's really good advice. Pretty sure Google is reporting you right now for shouting at her. I cannot work that. I have been so patient with... It took me ages to figure out you had to say, hey, Google. But now I figured it out. I always say, hey, Google. But she won't... You can't pause. If you say, hey, Google, and then think, right, what do I want to say? It just goes straight into searching, hey, Google. Like, there's a whole level of preparation that you have to do. Here we go. Look, Steph giving Triple H the sledgehammer. Days, Primo, Eric Young, Linda McMahon. Done, says Swamp Manor. Done. Liam says he's streaming both nights of WrestleMania. Oh, you know it. You know it, baby cakes. Jericho yelling at a drone, and now Days is yelling at his phone. Here we go. Look, Sledgehammer in the ring with Triple H. Just use it. Get disqualified. Superman punch. Please give me a shout out. Shout out to you, Cooper Slays. Ooh, ah. Oh, Sledgehammer misses. Spear. Spear to Triple H. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns. There we go. It was only... I thought this was going to go another 20 minutes. Look at that kid. That kid's over the moon. Days, John Moxley, Tommaso Ciampa, Drew McIntyre, Val Venus, Velveteen Dream, and Blue Blood Triple H. Triple H is down. Stephanie down. WrestleMania booing there. How did Vince not hear all those boos? Fireworks going off. That's what they were trying to avoid again. I'm sure of it. That's why The Fiend lost the title. They didn't want Goldberg versus Roman and the whole stadium booing again. It's weird. It's weird to go back and watch. Right, there's Triple H. Oh, hello. Hello, Triple H. What's he got to say? Hopefully apologising to Steph. Give us perspective. Here we go. Triple H promo. They both bring incredible intensity. Ash didn't know it's a Google Pixel. It's a Google Pixel phone. I've spoken about it before. I've got the Google Pixel 3. The first Google Pixel is all I had when I started YouTube. So if you are at home, it's actually a really interesting conversation, but if you are at home and you're thinking of starting YouTube, but you haven't got a camera, you haven't got a laptop, you haven't got all these things, if you've got a smartphone, it's all you need. The channel is all I used. I did not own a laptop. I did not own a computer. I did everything on my phone. Everything. And Wrestling Days channel got to, I think, about 40,000 until I bought a camera and a laptop. So, yeah, just do it. Just start. If you're thinking of doing it, do it. What's next for me to have a terrible match should be Goldberg's slogan. They're not saying anything about Roman. No, they can't. This was all pre-recorded and taped, and there's so much in here about Roman. There's already been so many mentions that there's no way you could have pulled all of that out and told a different story in time. I'm guessing they'll re-edit next week's shows, but that's a guess. But I would say this was too close. Not enough time to edit this. Right, we got Big E, we got Kofi. Of course, we've still got that match to come. New Day versus Usos and brand new Firefly Funhouse. Huskus the Pig, Little Jimmy, and the puppet that was in the Legion of Doom. Rocco. Wasn't his name Rocco? I don't know if the match happens or not. I don't believe it does. So Roman and Goldberg back on. Let's say yes. It's not, no. Drew is going to lose at WrestleMania. Dream Faction, Undertaker, Bruno Sammartino, and Jushin Thunder Liger. Wow. Right. Just got a promo with the New Day at the moment. But they're not really saying too much. New Day rocks. Firefly Funhouse up next. Next. Guess what's next? That's right. The Firefly Yowie Wowie. Firefly Funhouse next, my friends. What is going to go down in Funhouse Town? Still doing those rhymes. But I don't even mean to. This is the one thing I've been really looking forward to all week. And actually, on the Insiders Wrestling podcast at the start of the week, there was a little poll, and it was decided. I think the community decided this was the one thing they were most looking forward to. So, in many ways, this is the highlight of the week coming up now. John Cena and the Achilles heel turn. Rambling Rabbit, Aleister Black, Bray Wyatt, Sister Abigail. Have they officially said that Roman is out? No, but I wasn't expecting them to, because this is a taped show, and they're not gonna have had time to re-edit it. I think that they will probably announce it on next week's shows. Don't forget, this is only news that kind of broke through around about, 12, 15 hours ago. To re-edit a show and get it submitted and, queued up and everything in time. I don't know how long the networks have to have the show in advance to play it, So I think that's the reason for it. About chances of anything being leaked before Mania weekend. I think the chances are high. Very high. I mean, we're already hearing of people that haven't competed at WrestleMania. So we're already hearing about things that have happened during those tapings. I'll be honest, I've not heard a single result. Not a single result so far, which is brilliant. And you won't get it from me. Even if I do hear of anything or get sent anything, I won't be talking about it on the streams. So you don't need to worry about that. Days, my faction, Keith Lee, The Mac, and Killshot, says Young Astro. Damien, Frankie, and Matilda, says Vegan. Swamp Manor says, Days, imagine Linda elbow dropping Big Show and the world explodes. Yes. Imagine that. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe. Make sure that you're joining us. We are going to be back certainly on Sunday for WrestleMania 32. That should be a very fun stream. Velveteen Dream, Big E, and Goldust. That'd be very fun, says Almighty Ironhead 25. We've got just about half an hour to go. We are at commercial break, but we are about to go to the Firefly Funhouse. It is time. It is time. It's time. Here we go. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I really want this to be in the full Funhouse. That's what I want. My chat keeps freezing. Aleister Black, Undertaker, and Sting. That's good logic gaming. I like that. Days, do you think NXT UK TakeOver Dublin will get cancelled? It's been postponed. They've moved it back to October, November. It's been announced that they've just moved it. So it has been postponed. Waylon Mercy, Bray Wyatt, and Undertaker. That'd be cool. Almighty. Why are they still saying that it's Roman? Peter, because this show is pre-recorded, and as we said, I don't think there's time to re-edit it. So I think next week they'll probably start announcing that Roman's not in. Don't forget, this is not live. I know a lot of people probably think this is live, but this has been taped. Sonya backstage with Dolph. Here's Mandy. Mandy says, why are you doing this to Otis? Has Mandy not watched? Does she not watch SmackDown? Because you'd clearly see that he didn't stand her up. Mandy says, I refuse to let you fight over me like I'm some kind of prize. Where is he? No. Okay. Here we go then. Firefly Funhouse time. Is it in the full set? I would hope so. We've got the picture from WrestleMania. I don't think it is the full set. I think this is the backstage set. Bray was crying then at the start. You can see his eyes a little upset as he remembers that match from WrestleMania 30. Oh, there's the lantern. Oh, he's hearing voices from the lantern. He's telling the lantern to shut up. You had your chance. That's amazing. He's talking to the lantern. He's using the lantern as a character. Abby says you was delusional then. You're delusional now. He says he's got the secret recipe: rage, resentment, self-loathing, hot sauce. You do need some hot sauce. Oh yeah, baby. He says little bit of flavour. All the pictures of Cena on the wall of friendship. Here's rambling with a carrot. It'll help you see John Cena. Spread. Some irrelevant, non-necessary opinions. Here we go. Rambling Rabbit is in the blender. It's going to get blended. No! Ah! I don't feel like that's going to be a very tasty cocktail. There we go. Hi. Are they going to sell that? I'd definitely buy that. I would definitely buy... What's it called? Yowie Wowie! Yowie Wowie juice. Oh, the light bulb's back. Hello, mate. So, this is all about Bray saying how much has changed. Especially since he's anything but ordinary. Okay, here we go. He wants you to step into our world of madness and mayhem. Yeah. A Firefly Funhouse match! Ah! Firefly Funhouse match! Oh! Oh! It's going to be so good. There's a long-lasting side effect. Oh, Firefly Funhouse match! Amazing. 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 A Funhouse match. So, I'm guessing, I mean, we've not explored the Funhouse. What if we're going to see different rooms? What if we're going to go to different locations? You know, this could be incredible. There could be so much stuff in there that kind of calls back to previous kind of Bray Wyatt moments. Lots of things to, like, talk about and theorize over. I mean, like, just, like, old costumes and references to the Wyatt family. And there could be so much stuff that they reference and as they go around. What about the basement to the Funhouse? What's in the basement to the Funhouse? What's in the bedroom to the Funhouse? I want to go into the bedroom of the Funhouse. You know, what's Abby's room look like? What's Rambling Rabbit's room look like? What about if Waylon Mercy is in there? Waylon Mercy, one of the big kind of, you know, inspirations to Bray Wyatt. What if he makes like a cameo appearance? Or, I don't know, everything that made the Funhouse great can now be turned up all the way. A Firefly Funhouse match. Absolutely insane. That is huge. That is huge. I cannot wait for that. That is huge. Where does Huskus keep all of his chocolate? The Fiend could be in the basement. Yeah. That is huge. Do you know what excites me about that? There's so many possibilities. You know, you've got like his whole NXT history, and you can have all of that being shown. You can have the Wyatt family stuff being shown. You can have the cabin in the woods. You can have all of his old feuds. The Randy Orton stuff. Imagine this. Imagine they go into a room and it's just nothing but pictures of Randy Orton. Imagine that. It's a Randy Orton room. He is absolutely... This could be the first time that we see how besotted he is with getting payback on Randy Orton. The amount of stuff that they could do with that Firefly Funhouse match is incredible. Incredible. It's tasty. Jody says, a match in the Funhouse. I am ecstatic. I bet you are. Because it's not going to just be in that one setting, is it? We're going to properly explore it. Marie says, I wonder how big the Funhouse is. I would imagine it. I would imagine a healthy size. The Fiend should be tied up in one of the rooms. I'm not sure I agree with that because the Fiend is Bray Wyatt. So if Bray's fighting, if the Fiend is tied up, then that would have to be a separate person. You can't have Bray Wyatt and the Fiend in the same location at the same time. That would be my concern. If they're going to do that, it's going to have to be someone else. And maybe that could turn out to be the introduction of Bo. Maybe this is going to be the introduction of the Cult of Wyndham. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. This is a big deal. Mark Clark says, days for that match. Do the Asuka dance. Yes. It's one of them, innit? Is it busy? I'm okay. I don't like you. It's one of them. What if in the basement it's the rest of Bray's body without the head? That would be horrific. I mean, it could be. But it would be horrific. The Joker in one room. Yeah, let me know what you think. What do you think is inside the Firefly Funhouse? Shout out to Shane Edwards. Greco says, I feel bad for Ramblin' Rabbit. Fiend versus Orton. Yeah, it's going to happen. Days, you know all well and good the Funhouse match. It's not going to live up to expectations if WWE Creative is planning and controlling it. I don't know, to be honest, because I don't know how much Creative have been able to get involved. I feel like with this match, and maybe this is me being optimistic, but I feel like with this match, Creative have got so much to worry about, they might have just said to John and the Fiend, you book it. What do you need? Because I feel like they left him to it when he did the original Funhouse episodes. When he did the original Firefly Funhouse episodes, Creative didn't get involved then. Now, I appreciate this is WrestleMania, and I appreciate John Cena's involved, but I think they saw how successful those episodes were, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on this, that they've left him to it, and they've said to him, you and John book this one. We've got many other things to worry about. So I'm going to be quietly optimistic. Firefly, yes. People asking, what is a Firefly Funhouse match? We don't fully know. I would imagine it's going to be a match in the Firefly Funhouse that's going to explore the Funhouse. And as we said, this is what I'm saying. Put in your thoughts as to what that actually means. I think inside the Funhouse will be John Cena's alter ego. There could be some rooms that's like maybe dedicated to John Cena's past, just to like really mess with him. That would be interesting. Fiend versus heel Cena. It will be interesting to see what happens to John Cena after this, because Cena could very much turn heel. We know how the Fiend changes people. So, yeah, it could absolutely turn heel. Shahib says, Day's breaking news, Andrade is out of WrestleMania. I had heard that. Moda! Shout out to Moda. Moda says, I know this match would occur at some point. Could be the building that we saw some time ago that looked like a mental institution. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, isn't it? What... I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be. Will Pat Sharp be guest referee? Yes. Days, have you seen Asuka's £22 losing dance? No, I have not. Days, what if there's a room full of beard hair? Yep, could be. Swamp Manor. LSW says, Days, what if there's different types of masks? Love that. What if there's a whole new character we've never seen before? Forget different masks. Think about different people. You know, what if there's people in the Funhouse that we've not seen before? Maybe that's wishful thinking. Maybe that's not going to happen. But I'm just saying, look, there's so many things that you can do with this. There's so many avenues that you can go down. I'm excited. I'm very excited for it. There seems like there's a lot to theorize about. Yep. Absolutely. See if Days reads my comment. I saw it, William. Days, is Roman wrestling at Mania? No. Linda in the Funhouse. That'd be epic. I'd pay a lot of money for that. Shout out to George's stuff. Those kids in... Oh, yes, the kids. You're absolutely right. The kids. The kids could all be there. The weird kids that always look grumpy. Could we get a cameo from IRS? Could you imagine if IRS was in a room? What if it leads... What if a room that leads to the house... Bray versus Randy. I think this could set up Bray versus Randy. Reptilians. Hang on, I don't even know. We'll talk about this. I haven't even changed over the graphic. We are actually watching New Day. New Day. Versus the Usos. There we go. Boom. Right, let me just move this over here. I will be back. Give me a second. Yowie, wowie. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. I think some of your ideas are absolutely brilliant. I would be really interested in there being a Randy Orton room. I really do feel like that would be a nice way to kind of set up that next feud, or certainly using this to set up future feuds. It could be that there's a room of not just Randy Orton, but, you know, pictures of... You can't do Harper anymore, unfortunately. But you could do Rowan. You could do, obviously, The Undertaker as well. Undertaker was a big loss that Bray Wyatt suffered. So it could really hint at all of these things. I'm expecting a lot of imagery. A lot for us to get excited about and to theorize about and all that kind of stuff, you know. Exciting, man. Exciting. There's a room full of John Cena's past. A room full of Nikki Bella pictures. No way, man. I don't see them going there. That's surely too real. That'd be hardcore. Could you imagine if they did? I mean, I feel like Cena's moved on in the sense of he's got a new partner now, and obviously Nikki has, and she's having a kid. I think they're still friends. So I wouldn't say completely no. There could be a chance that he does agree to it, but I don't know. I don't know. I could see that one being quite difficult for them to do, if you know what I mean. So, nice idea, though. Nice idea. Days, do you prefer face or heel, Matt? I don't know. I want to see what this AEW Matt's like. Randy fought Bray in a house. Could it be that same house? No. I don't think it's going to be that. This isn't a House of Horrors match. That was a House of Horrors. This is a Firefly Funhouse match. So it's wherever the Funhouse is. Which I don't know. I don't know how they're going to present this. I don't know. I believe they're filming it in a warehouse, but obviously they're not going to present it as if it's a warehouse. It's going to be, I think, like a house with lots of different rooms, and I fully expect us to see more than just that one room, that one space. But I can't quite figure out how it's going to look. Which is part of the fun, isn't it? Not being able to really kind of picture it. But I'm very excited for it. Very, very excited for it. I think this is exactly what this match needed to be. I think this match needed to have this kind of mystery, this kind of intrigue, this kind of connection, if you will, to the Firefly Funhouse. I think the Firefly Funhouse is very much what people enjoy. Something that people really, have gravitated towards and look forward to seeing. And just having that in the title is really going to bring people into this. So I'm gonna keep my hopes high for it. I'm gonna keep my hopes high. I'm probably wrong to do that. It's probably going to be an absolute epic fail. But I'm going to keep my hopes high because anything to do with the Funhouse has been decent up until this point. And I think the potential here for them to explore different spaces and explore different rooms and do different things. I think that is, intriguing, to say the least. Days, when is the Fiend figure coming out? Fiend figure was meant to come out in June, July time. I'm not sure if that's still going to be the case because factories over in China have been closed. It's going to delay everything. So you might be looking September time now, but they haven't actually come out with a statement on that. So still a little bit in the dark on that ourselves. So we're going to have to wait and see. So yeah, not 100% certain as to when exactly that's coming out, but it was meant to be June time. John Cena starts fighting in the Funhouse. Bray then turns into the Fiend. A room of animatronic puppets, says Sean. That is fascinating. That's a really interesting idea. I'm definitely going to do a video on this where we just kind of theorize as to what it might look like. And I think what I want to do is I want to use some of your thoughts and suggestions in that video. So if you want your thoughts in that video and you want to get like mentioned, because I'll shout you out, of course. I'll be like, such and such has said that it could be this and such has said it'll be that. I will use comments on this stream. So as soon as this stream is over, click on it and you should be able to leave comments, and I will use those comments for the video. So after this, we're going over to the Insiders Wrestling podcast, and I'm going to watch the Holly Dead interview. As soon as that's done, then I'll start work on that theory video. That'll give you enough time to watch the interview, do whatever you're doing, but also leave that comment. So I think that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? You can actually get a mention I can't guarantee I'm going to use everyone's because I don't know how many people are going to send things over, you know. If it's like 5 people, then there's a really good chance all 5 will have their thoughts mentioned. But if it turns out to be 50, I think you appreciate I'm going to struggle then. So, yeah, if you want to do that, I think that might be a nice, cool thing to do. As I said, I've got my own kind of thoughts and ideas, but if you guys drop them down in the comments anyway, then I'll still be using and shouting you guys out. So, deal? Think it sounds like a good deal. Right, let's go down. Days, maybe Kane could be locked in the basement. Interesting. MP Mouse says, sounds good. Days, we actually got a full Funhouse. We did, yeah, you're right. We did get a full Funhouse. They actually had time to edit segments and to create graphics. And I'm surprised, though, that it wasn't in the full Funhouse set. I really expected it to be in the full Funhouse set because they commented on the post that Bray was opening the door. And so that really made me think that it was going to be on the full set, but it wasn't. But still, it was still a full Funhouse, and it was a fun episode. I liked some of the references that were in there, and the fact, you know, he was looking at that picture on the wall, and there was tears in his eyes as he's remembering the past, and yeah, really, really interesting stuff. The way that it was presented, I don't think there was like much mystery in it, to be honest. But like, I like Ramblin' Rabbit giving him the carrot so that Bray could see John Cena. And obviously he's made that cocktail now to be able to put on maybe a better performance than he did the last time they met. So I think it gave it a bit of purpose. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good episode. But the big takeaway is the fact that it's a Firefly Funhouse match, isn't it? We're also underway with this. We've got less than 10 minutes to go here with this match. Kofi and the Usos. Miz and Morrison on commentary chanting "Fight Forever." The irony is that 2 of the biggest matches they've been talking about is Goldberg-Roman and obviously this match right here. And I think both of them aren't going to take place. We're actually building towards a WrestleMania that's not happening. They're currently building towards a completely different WrestleMania than the one I think we're going to get. Firefly Funhouse match. Ooh, I thought the Usos had got it then. Days, what if Edge and Randy end up fighting in the Funhouse? I wonder what is in the front door of the Funhouse. I don't know what you're going to find out. I hope we get some kind of answers. That's all. I just want one. I just want one answer to like some of the various different things that we were talking about. There was people saying like, could it be hell on the other side of the door and all this kind of stuff. I'd like to get some answers. We got the answers about could Funhouse Bray leave the Funhouse. Like, obviously now we know that he can. We know that it's a physical place because Seth burnt it down, didn't he? Or burnt down the one version of it. I'd like it to be revealed that there are different Funhouse versions, you know? We don't always see the same place. Phil Bray should have been limited to the Firefly Funhouse, so it could have acted as a figment of the imagination. Only the Fiend should have been outside. It would have made the exploration of the Funhouse and Bray better. I understand that. I agree. I think it was a slight disappointment when Seth burnt it down. I agree. Because it made a lot of stuff real and not a figment of the imagination. They've got their Miz and Morrison hey hey ho ho chant going. Usos come crashing down onto the New Day. Big E. Oh, big spear. Suicide dive by Big E. Miz and Morrison attacking Big E. So what's this going to be? Is this meant to be a triple threat? So, triple threat by the looks of it. Looks like we were meant to be getting New Day, Usos, and Miz and Morrison. After Mania, Bray will get drafted to Raw, or Randy will be drafted to SmackDown. And then we can get that. Days, I like the fact it's a real place, in my opinion. It makes it creepier and more disturbing. I don't know. It raises questions like, who is controlling the puppets? Is that the Cult of Wyndham? We've not seen the puppeteers. Could you imagine if it turned out Bo had been controlling Ramblin' Rabbit all this time? You'll have to face both. It's so stupid. Everyone knows that's the end. If you're going to get involved, that's what happens. It's so stupid. Oh, double super kick to The Miz. The Miz goes down. New Day. Do something if you want to. Very upset, Big E. So I think that's our closing segment. The match has been made, but we might not get a chance to see it for a while. Miz Morrison versus the Usos and the New Day. Down since day one-ish. And that's it. Right, get your scores in for SmackDown. Get your scores in for SmackDown. What did you think? What did you think? Don't forget, as soon as this stream finishes, it should be available for you to select on the home. It won't be in the videos tab because it has to process. But if you click on it, like on the Wrestling Days YouTube homepage, should be there, then you should be able to drop a comment. If not, you might have to just wait like half an hour for it to actually process. But once it's processed, put your comments on. I will include your thoughts. I want to include your thoughts. I want to include what you think is in this, or what this Firefly Funhouse match is all about. So make sure that you're leaving that comment. As well as that, I think I'm right in saying in about 15 minutes time, the Insiders Wrestling podcast, I'm literally just going to jump over, double check that they have scheduled it for 15 minutes, because I do like to get your thoughts and opinions on the show before leaving you. Let me go over to Insiders. To find this, we will all be over there, by the way, so we can carry on chatting in their chat, but I do not want to get in the way of what Holidead has got to say. The last thing I want to do is be upsetting Holidead. Yeah, that starts. The Holidead interview starts in 16 minutes time. 16 minutes time, the Holidead thing starts. So we will be over there. And as I said, you can leave your thoughts in the comments below. So we're going to stick around for about 10 minutes. We'll stick around for 10 minutes so that we can literally just talk about what we've seen. Rusty Shackelford says, I give it a 9, lol. Well, that's a novel new thing that you've started doing there, Rusty. Thank you for the support, my friend, as always. A lot of 7s. I've got to be honest, a lot of 7s, a few 3s, 6s, and but a lot of 7s. 6s, 7s, 9.75 from Sandman. SmackDown finished. It's just finished. Super Cyan says 7, and K-Dav says 7. I mean, look, I thought the Firefly Funhouse was good. I thought the final match was decent. I thought the Asuka match was all right. I didn't really like the opening segment. I didn't really like the fact we got a repeated match. I would struggle to give this a 7. I think I was around about a 4, but then things kind of went all right, so I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5. I was at a 4. I'll settle on a 5. I feel like that's pretty fair. I could go. I feel like a 6 would be high for that. I'd want to have 2 solid hours. You know, there was a few moments that I didn't care for. I think Miz and Morrison attacking looks stupid because I think it makes them look stupid because everyone knows that if you're going to attack, that match is going to turn into a triple threat. So I think there could have been a better way to have got to it than doing that. But look, these are just silly little things. Do you know what I mean? I think a 5 is, under the circumstances, fair. But what I would say is no criticism from me. They've still given us a show, and I massively, massively appreciate that. Elijah says 5 as well. K-Dab says 5. Men One Call says 5. Mo Jones says 6. Yeah, I could be tempted to go to a 6. Young Astro says, no, it's not a 5, it's a 7, baby. 5 is fine, says Charlie. I can't really get into these empty arena shows. Yeah, I think there's been some good stuff, like the Funhouse. I think there's been some rubbish stuff. But either way, we got a show, and I appreciate them for that. Ben says, I really enjoyed this SmackDown. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Really enjoyed seeing Triple H Roman Reigns because I don't think I've seen that match before. That's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. Look, it's going to be different if you haven't seen that match before. And as I said, of all the matches to watch, it's not actually the worst. I don't want to change my tune on it though. You know, I don't think you should be watching replays of matches during, brand new shows, but these are extraordinary times. And at least it was a shorter match. It was about 20 minutes compared to like a Royal Rumble. A Royal Rumble that just went on forever. Do you remember that we watched that whole... It went on for like an hour. So at least it was only 20 minutes. Days, how long will the watch-alongs be for WrestleMania? I think they will be about 8 hours, to be honest. The reason why I say that is because normally WrestleMania has a 2-hour pre-show and then the main show itself is 5 hours. So without doing anything extra, without doing any afterthoughts or any kind of pre-show before the pre-show, without doing anything, it would be 7 hours. Now, I've got a feeling that on YouTube, I don't think it saves streams longer than 8 hours. I think 8 hours is the limit that it will save the video file. Like, that's the max the video will record for. So, I wouldn't want to go over 8 hours, if I'm being honest. So, it's WrestleMania has always been a difficult one because I never know when to... I think it's best if we start when the kickoff show starts, and then we literally go straight the way through, and then depending on how much time we've got after WrestleMania, that will let me know how much longer I can stream for. Because if I go over 8 hours, it might not save the video, and I really don't want that. So I'm looking at 8 hours both days. It's going to be full on. It's going to be full on. And if the shows are shorter, then we'll stream. We will not be stuck for things to say after WrestleMania. There's going to be so much to talk about. What matches did we get, for starters, and why did they do what they did, and what locations were they at, and so much to talk about. So, yeah, we won't be stuck for things to say. We're going to stick around for about 6 more minutes, and then we're going to jump over to the Insiders Wrestling Podcast. Again, if you're a fan of swearing and lots of swearing, you're going to have a great time over there. Because that's all Holidead does. Holidead, who, as I said, I fully expect to sign to someone like NWA or, I mean, who knows? AEW are taking a look at a lot of people. They're looking to strengthen their women's division. She's got a lot of experience. She's got a very good look. She's, ripped as well. She works out a lot. So, definitely someone that should be on your radar. And I'm kind of looking forward to the interview. And also wonderfully apprehensive as well. Days, imagine a room full of sheep masks, says Dylan. Vegan says, I'm sure this has been answered, but why is it being shown over 2 days? And why is it extending from 5 hours to 10, especially considering current circumstances? I think it's because of current circumstances. I don't think that they can have all the wrestlers backstage at the same time. It kind of goes back to what we were saying about trying to take precautions to keep the wrestlers safe, if you will, or as safe as possible. So limiting the amount of people that are backstage at any one time. So by doing it, you couldn't do it in one day because you can't have everyone backstage. So you need to basically do matches individually, film them, tape them, and then do it over, 2 days and do it that way. So they've done recordings over 2 days, and that's just going to turn into a 2-day WrestleMania. So, yeah, it seems that it's because of the fact that they could only have so many people backstage at any one time. I think the majority of the work's going to be done at the Performance Center, but obviously we know there's other matches. Not all the matches. Most things are going to come from Performance Center. I think some are coming from Full Sail. You might have the odd thing that comes from the HQ, the headquarters, and then, of course, this Funhouse match and the Undertaker match that's going to come from a completely different location. So I think it was about spreading people out as much as possible. Rusty Shackelford says, Days, we just got an undercover Callan Corner without you even noticing. Oh, well, I'll go back to it. Where is she? I can't even see. Oh, there we go. Here we go. It was a proper undercover Callan Corner. What a way to end the stream. I'll change the graphic over. It was undercover, but it's still going to be recognised by me as an official Callan Corner. Here we go. I know I haven't got long, so I'm going to have to quickly type these. Callan Corner. So if you are joining us, an all right show. Some positive things, more negative probably. I give it 5 out of 10, but look, under the circumstances, it is what it is. Very excited for the Firefly Funhouse match. But here we go. Callan Corner. Jesse Callan says to the guy who invented zero, thanks for nothing. Yeah! Very good. To the guy who invented zero, thanks for nothing. Insiders said, come over to the Insiders podcast and check out our interview with Holidead. And don't forget as well, Holidead has apparently got a message for me, which I legit don't know anything about. I don't know anything about what she's going to say. Well, I know she's going to swear, but yeah, I'm a little bit worried about it. So we'll have to wait and see what she's actually going to say. But I will be over there on their channel in a minute's time. So, well, it'll take me a little bit longer than a minute. Hence why I'm just giving people 5 minutes to stumble their way over there. Liam Crook. I love you, Days. I've got the coronavirus, but I love you, Days. You are my favourite. Have you got the thing? Have you picked up the virus, buddy? You might be the first person that I'm talking to that has actually picked it up. Thank you, Liam Crook. Boom. There you go, buddy. I've added your name to the bottom so that it scrolls. I mean, not that there's much longer left of the stream, but so that it scrolls along the bottom. Liam Crook, thank you so much for the support. I really hope that you're resting up and on the mend, my friend. because yeah, you know, it's I've heard it's not a pleasant thing to have, but I think a lot of the symptoms tend to be like mild and just, you know, I don't want to sit here and tell you what to do because honestly, you know better than me what you should be doing if you do get the virus. But I should imagine rest is only a positive thing. So shout out to you, buddy. Thank you very much, Liam Crook. Really, really appreciate it. And as you can see, your name on the little scroll along the bottom of the screen. Rusty Shackelford says, and she just did one more. Well, I dropped a second one. Well, it's not all about you, Jesse Callin. You've dropped a Callin's corner. We need to go. We need to go. Shane Edwards says, when's the next toy hunt? Dude, I don't know if you've heard, but the whole world is on lockdown. So I did want to try and get another one done before the UK went into lockdown, but the UK went into lockdown a few days ago, and it will be in lockdown for the next 3 weeks. So not for a while, let's put it that way. Days, if SmackDown was in Chicago tonight, I would have been at the Allstate Arena. A Firefly Funhouse match sounds like one of the craziest matches in the history of WWE. Yeah. Liam Crook, again, thank you so much. Jesse, Rusty, I'll go to it. Here we go. Where? I'm running out of time. Jesse, I don't know where you've put it. I don't know where you've hidden this second Callin corner. Here it is. Okay, right. This apparently is the official Callin's corner. Right. I'm never donating money to a marathon again. They just take that money and run. There we go. A second Callin corner. Dropping 2 Callin corners. It's just, Liam Crook, you don't need to send any more. You didn't need to send any more, Liam. Thank you. I appreciate the support, buddy. Your first one. Do you know what I mean? I'm still trying to max out that first one for you. By putting your name on and giving it mention. We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes until the Insiders podcast is about to start. So, guys, just why could we not? We could have spaced guys. We could have spaced this out. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna throw it out there. But these Callin corners could have come a good 12 minutes ago. I do, and Liam as well. You have been sat there going, is he about to end? Is he about to end? Is he about to? There we go. It's like, why do the streams always end in such a manic fashion? Manic fashion. That's what we are. Right. Okay. I think we are. We've got to go. We've got to go. For the sake of that Holly Dead interview, we have to go. Reese's, don't worry about it. Just keep yourself indoors. Keep yourself safe. There's no need to panic. Yeah. Just keep yourself cool. Stay cool. You are cool. Brilliant. You know what? I've just deleted my link to end the stream, so now I've got to go back in to find the link to end the stream. I'm going to be sitting here forever, just chatting to no one and nothing. Right, here we go. Okay. Yeah, if you are watching, hit the subscribe. Once the video goes up, leave your thoughts. We are about to jump over to the Insiders. Days, what was your rating? I gave it a 5. I was around about a 4. End of the stream. I'm trying to end the stream. I'm trying to end the stream. I've literally got 2 minutes. 2 minutes until it starts over on the Insiders. Insiders, you around? Have you got a link that you can drop in the chat before I do end it? Is there a link or anything? Because I've got it now. I can end it. I'm at the point where I can end this. Oh, there's a minute. There's a minute. Callin Corner, a combined 20 out of 20. Young Astro says end the stream. It's going to end. It's going to end. I've got a minute. There's a minute, but I have literally just asked the Insiders if they're around. They're probably not around. Probably on their channel. They should be on their channel. Insiders, are you there? Who's Goldberg's next fight? Well, not Roman. Liam says, I've got the symptoms, but it's all good. I'm staying at home watching New Days. Boom. Shout out to you, Liam. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Really, really appreciate it. Right. I don't think there's a link. I don't think they're around. You'll have to go to Google and just type in Insiders Wrestling Podcast. Okay? Holidead, HOLIDEAD. Type that in. You'll find it. We're all over there. Okay? Awesome. Right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate the support. I'll see you over on the Insiders Podcast. And I'll see you there. Bye. You flummoxed me now. You've ruined it. That's your fault. I'm normally way cooler than that.